A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Autolite and its 98,000 dealers bring you Richard Widmark, Kathy Lewis, and Elliot Lewis in tonight's presentation of Suspense.
Tonight, Autolite proudly presents part one of the first radio dramatization of William Shakespeare's tragic history of love and death, Othello. Our stars, Richard Widmark, Kathy Lewis, and Elliot Lewis.
What's this great electing system of yours?
Oh, you mean the Autolite electrical system that's designed to work as a perfect team. The generator, starting motor, distributor, and coil, spark plugs, battery, and all the other units are related by Autolite engineering design and manufacturing skill to give you the smoothest performance money can buy.
Can it get me reelected, Harlow?
Senator, with an Autolite electrical system, you just can't lose. It starts the instant you turn the starting switch and works every second your engine runs. It works, too, every time you blow the horn, turn on lights, radio, heater, or electric windshield wiper.
Sounds mighty important.
It sure is, and that's why it pays to treat the electrical system of your car to a periodic checkup at your car dealer or your nearest authorized Autolite service station. To locate him, look in the classified section of the phone book under Automobile Electrical Service. Or call Western Union by number and ask for Operator 25. And remember, from bumper to tail light, you're always right with Autolite.
And now, Autolite presents transcribed part one of William Shakespeare's Othello, starring Richard Widmark as Iago, and Kathy Lewis as Desdemona, and Elliot Lewis as the Moor, hoping once again to keep you in suspense. Act 1, Scene 1, Venice, a street. Enter Roderigo and Iago.
You told me you hated the Moor.
Despise me if I do not. I know my price, Roderigo. I am worth no worse a place. But, says he, I have already chosen my officer. And what was he? Forsooth, one Michael Cassio of Florentine. He in good time must his lieutenant be, and I, God bless the mark, his worship's ensign.
I would not follow him then, good Iago.
Oh, sir, content you. I follow him to serve my turn upon him. We cannot all be masters, nor all masters cannot be truly followed. In following him, I follow but myself. Call up her father. Rouse him. Make after him. Poison his delight.
What ho, Babencio! Signor Babencio, ho! Look to your house, your daughter, and your bags. Thieves! Thieves!
What is the reason of this terrible summons? What is the matter there?
Signor, is all your family within? Are all doors locked?
What, have you lost your wit?
Most reverend Signor, do you know my boy?
Not I. What are you?
My name is Roderigo.
Oh, worth welcome. I have charged you not to haunt about my door. In honest plainness, you heard me say my daughter is not for you.
Sir, I beseech you that your fair daughter, Desdemona, to the gross class of a lascivious Moor has fled. Straight satisfy yourself. If she be in her chamber or your house, let loose on me the justice of the state for this delusion.
Strike on the tinder hole. Give me a taper. Call up all my people. Like, I say, like.
Farewell, Roderigo, for I must leave you. It seems not meet nor wholesome to my place to be produced against the Moor. Lead to the arsenal the razed search, and there will I be with him. So farewell.
Scene 2, outside the arsenal, a few moments later. Enter Othello, Iago, and attendants with torches.
'Tis better as it is.
But I pray say, are you fast married? For be sure of this, that Signor Babancio is much beloved, and hath in his effect a voice potential as double as the Duke's. He will divorce you.
Let him do his spite. My loyal services shall outtongue his complaints. For no Iago, but that I love the gentle Desdemona. But look, what lights come yonder?
These are the Raisin Father and his friends. You had best go in.
Not I must be found. Is it they?
By Janus, I think no.
The servants of the Duke and my Lieutenant Cassio. The goodness of the night upon you, friends. What is the news, Cassio?
The Duke does greet you, General, and he requires your post-haste appearance even on the instant.
What's the matter, think you?
Something from Cyprus, as I may divine. You've been hotly called for.
Tis well I'm found by you.
Come, Captain, will you go?
Have with you.
Here comes another troop to seek for you.
It is Brabantio, General. Be advised, he comes to bad intent.
Tora, stand there.
Senor, it is the Moor. Stand down with him. Thief! Keep up your bright sword for the duel, Rustum. Foul thief. Where hast thou stowed my daughter? I'll have disputed on.
Where will you that I go to answer this your charge?
To prison.
What if I do obey? How may the Duke be therewith satisfied, whose messengers are here about my side, upon some present business of the state to bear me to him?
The Duke in council, and this time of the night, bring him away. Mine's not an idle cause. The Duke himself cannot but feel this wrong as for his own.
Scene 3, a council chamber. The Duke and Senators sitting at a table with lights.
Valiant Othello, we must straight employ you against the general enemy Ottoman. I did not see you. Welcome, Signor Brabantio. We lacked your counsel and your help tonight.
So did I yours. Good your grace, pardon me. Neither my place nor aught I heard of business has raised me from my bed, for my particular grief is of so floodgate and all-bearing nature that it engluts and swallows other sorrows.
Why, what's the matter?
My daughter. Oh, my daughter.
Dead?
Aye, to me. She is abused, stolen from me, and corrupted by spells and medicines bought of mountebanks. Here is the man, this Moor, whom now it seems your special mandate for the state affairs has hither brought.
Othello, what in your own part can you say to this?
I do beseech you, send for the lady, and let her speak of me before her father. If you do find me foul in her report, let your sentence even fall upon my life.
Fetch Desdemona hither.
Iago, conduct them. You best know the place. And till she come, as truly as to heaven, I'll present how I did thrive in this fair lady's love, and she in mine.
Say it, Othello.
Her father loved me, oft invited me, still questioned me the story of my life from year to year. I ran it through. I spoke of most disastrous chances, of moving accidents by flood and field, of being taken by the insolent foe and sold to slavery. And my redemption thence. This to hear would Desdemona, seriously inclined, and with a greedy ear devour up my discourse. When I did speak of some distressful stroke that my youth suffered, my story being done, she gave me for my pains a world of sighs. She swore in faith 'twas strange, 'twas passing strange. 'Twas pitiful, 'twas wondrous pitiful. She wished she had not heard it, yet she wished that heaven had made her such a man. She thanked me, and bade me, if I had a friend that loved her, I should but teach him how to tell my story, and that would woo her. Upon this hint I spoke. She loved me for the dangers I had passed, and I loved her that she did pity them. This only is the witchcraft I have used. Here comes the lady. Let her witness it.
Come hither, gentle mistress. Do you perceive in all this noble company where most you owe obedience?
My noble father, I do perceive here a divided duty. To you I am bound for life and education. My life and education both do learn me how to respect you. But here's my husband. And so much duty as my mother showed to you, preferring you before her father, so much I challenge that I may profess due to the Moor, my lord.
Come hither, Moor. I here do give you that with all my heart I would keep from you. For your sake, Jewel, I am glad at soul. I have no other child. I have done, my lord. Beseech you now to the affairs of state.
The Turk, with most mighty preparation, makes for Cyprus. Othello, the fortitude of the place is best known to you, and though we have there Montano, a substitute of most A loud sufficiency, yet opinion, a sovereign mistress of effects, throws a more safer voice on you.
I do undertake these present wars against the Ottomans.
At 10 a.m. here we'll meet again. Othello, leave some officer behind, and he shall our commission bring to you.
Please, your grace, my ensign Iago, a man he is of honesty and trust. To his conveyance I assign my wife, with what else needful your good grace shall think to be sent after me.
Let it be so. Good night to everyone. Adieu, brave Moor. Use Desdemona well.
Look to her, Moor. Have a quick eye to see. She has deceived her father. May to thee.
My life upon her faith. Come, Desdemona. I have but an hour of love, of worldly matters and direction to spend with thee. We must obey the time.
What sayest thou, Rodrigo?
What will I do?
Why, go to bed and sleep.
I will incontinently drown myself.
If you do, I shall never love thee after. Why, thou silly gentleman?
What should I do? I confess it is my shame to be so fond of her, but it is not in my virtue to amend it.
Virtue a fig. 'Tis in ourselves that we are thus or thus. Our bodies are gardens, to the which our wills are gardeners. Come, be a man. Drown thyself. Drown cats and blind puppies. Put money in thy purse. It cannot be that Desdemona should long continue her love unto the Moor. Put money in thy purse, nor he to her. It was a violent commencement, and you shall see an answerable sequestration. Put but money in thy purse. These Moors are changeable in their wills. She must change for youth. She will find the error of her choice. She must have change. She must. If you must damn yourself, do it a more delicate way than drowning. Make all the money you can. You shall enjoy her.
Will you be fast to my hopes?
You are sure of me. Go, make money. I have told thee often, and I tell thee again and again. I hate the Moor. Adieu.
I'll be with thee betime.
Thus do I ever make my fool my purse. I hate the Moor. Let me see now. Cassio's a proper man. To get his place and to make up my will, a double knavery. How? After some time to abuse Othello's ear, that his lieutenant Cassio is too familiar with his wife. Cassio hath a person and a smooth disposed to be suspected. The Moor is of a free and open nature that thinks men honest that but seem to be so, and will as tenderly be led by the nose as asses are. I have it. It is engendered. Hell and night must bring this monstrous birth to the world's light.
Autolite is bringing you Richard Widmark, Kathy Lewis, and Elliot Lewis in Part 1 of William Shakespeare's Othello. Tonight's presentation in radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense.
Say, Harlow, how long has Autolite been making electrical systems?
Ever since 1911, Senator, when Autolite developed the first 2-unit, 6-volt automotive electrical system ever used as original equipment. That was the granddaddy of today's complete and precision-made system, which includes generator, starting motor, distributor and coil, spark plugs, battery, voltage regulator, and their thousands of component parts.
Oh, working together perfectly, eh, Harlow?
Right, and you get the wonderful and economical operation you expect because it's an Autolite electrical system. That means that every unit and component part is related by Autolite engineering design and manufacturing skill to give you the smoothest performance money can buy.
Sounds convincing, Wilcox.
So, friends, be sure to specify Autolite original service parts for your Autolite-equipped car. And remember, from bumper to tail light, you're always right with Autolite.
And now, Autolite brings back to our Hollywood soundstage Richard Widmark, Kathy Lewis, and Elliot Lewis in Mr. Lewis's production of William Shakespeare's Othello. A tale well calculated to keep you in suspense. Act 2, Scene 1. A month later, a seaport in Cyprus. The wars are over. Othello's sail has been sighted. Enter Cassio, Iago, Roderigo, and Desdemona. The Moor's lieutenant pays innocent compliment to Desdemona as Iago and the jealous Roderigo stand apart.
He takes her by the palm. Aye, well said. Whisper. With as little a web as this, will I ensnare as great a fly as Cassio. Aye, smile upon her, do. I will catch you in your own courtesies. Good, well kissed. An excellent courtesy. 'Tis so indeed. Yet again your fingers to your lips. Would they were clyster pipes for your sake. The Moor, I know his trumpet. 'Tis truly so.
Let's meet him and receive him.
Oh, my fair warrior.
My dear Othello.
It gives me wonder great as my content to see you here before me. If it were now to die, 'twere now to be most happy. For I fear my soul has her content so absolute that not another comfort like to this succeeds in unknown fate.
The heavens forbid but that our loves and comforts should increase even as our days do grow.
Amen to that sweet powers. I cannot speak enough of this content. It stops me here. It is too much of joy. In this, the greatest discords be that e'er our hearts shall make. I prithee, good Iago, go to the bay and disembark my coffers. Come, Cassio. Come, Desdemona. Once more, well met at Cyprus.
I will tell you this, good Roderigo. Desdemona is directly in love with Cassio.
With him? Why, 'tis not possible.
Mark me with what violence she first loved the Moor, but for bragging and telling her fantastical lies. And will she love him still for prating? Let not thy discreet heart think so. Her eye must be fed. And what delight shall she have to look on the devil? Her delicate tenderness will find itself abused and compel her to some second choice. Now, sir, this granted. Who stands so eminently in the degree of this fortune as Cassio does?
I cannot believe that in her. She's full of the most blessed conditions.
Blessed, Fig's end. Didst not see her paddle with the palm of Cassio's hand? Didst not mark that?
Yes, but that was but courtesy.
Treachery by this hand. An index, an obscure prologue to the history of lust and foul thoughts. They met so near with their lips that their breaths embraced together. But, sir, watch you tonight. Cassio knows you not. I'll not be far from you. Do you find some occasion to anger Cassio?
Oh.
Provoke him that he may strike you. For even out of that will I cause these of Cyprus to mutiny, whose qualifications shall come into no true trust again but by the displanting of Cassio. So shall you have a shorter journey to your desires.
I will do this if I can bring it to any opportunity.
I warrant thee. Meet me by and by at the citadel. I must fetch his necessaries ashore. Farewell.
Adieu.
I'll have our Michael Cassio on the hip. Abuse him to the Moor in the rank garb. Make the Moor thank me, love me, and reward me for making him egregiously an ass, and practicing upon his peace and quiet, even to madness. 'Tis here, but yet confused. Knavery's plain face is never seen till used.
Scene, a hall in the castle. The time, early night. Enter Iago and Cassio.
We muster the watch, Iago?
Not this hour, Lieutenant. 'Tis not yet 10 o'clock. Our general cast us thus early for the love of his Desdemona, who let us not therefore blame.
She is a most exquisite lady. Indeed, she is a most fresh and delicate creature.
What an eye she has. Methinks it sounds a parley of provocation?
An inviting eye, and yet, methinks, right modest.
And when she speaks, is it not an alarm to love?
It is indeed perfection.
Well, happiness to them. Come, Lieutenant, I have a stoup of wine. And here without are a brace of Cyprus gallants that would fain have a measure to the health of Othello.
Not tonight, good Iago. I have very poor and unhappy brains for drinking.
But 1 cup, I'll drink for you.
I have drunk but 1 cup tonight. I am unfortunate in the infirmity and dare not task my weakness with any more.
What, man? 'Tis a night of revels. The gallants desire it.
Where are they?
Here at the door. I pray you, call them in.
I'll do it, but it dislikes... Gentlemen, I am drunk. This is my right hand, and this is my left hand. I am not drunk now. I can stand well enough and speak well enough. Very well, then. You must not think that I am drunk.
To the master's platform. Come, let's set the watch.
Good Montano. You see this fellow that has gone before. He is a soldier fit to stand by Caesar. Yet I fear the trust Othello put him in on some odd time of his infirmity will shake this island.
Oh, but is he often thus?
'Tis evermore the prologue to his sleep.
It were well the general were put in mind of it.
But hark, what noise?
Help, you rogue, you rascal!
What's the matter, Lieutenant?
I'll beat the knave into a wicker bottle. Leave me! Do you break rum?
Good Lieutenant. Pray, sir, hold your hand.
Let me go, sir. I'll knock you on a mazzard.
Come, you're drunk.
Let me go away.
Go out and cry a mutiny. Me, good Lieutenant, sir. Montano. Help me first. Who's that rings the bell? The town will rise.
What is the matter here? Hold for your lives.
Lieutenant, sir. Montano. Gentlemen, have you forgot all sense of place and duty? Hold! The general speaks to you.
Silence that dreadful bell. It strikes the isle from her propriety. What's the matter, masters? Honest Iago that looks dead with grieving. Speak, who began this?
I do not know. I cannot speak any beginning to this peevish odds.
How came it, Michael, you were thus forgot?
I pray you, pardon me. I cannot speak.
Worthy Montano, what's the matter that you unlace your reputation thus and spend your rich opinion for the name of a night brawler? Give me answer to it.
Worthy Othello, I am hurt to danger. Your officer Iago can inform you.
Now, by heaven, if I stir or do but lift this arm, the best of you shall sink in my rebuke. Iago, who began?
If you deliver more or less than truth, you are no soldier.
Touch me not so near. I had rather have this tongue cut from my mouth than it should do offense to Michael Cassio. Yet I persuade myself to speak the truth. Shall nothing wrong him. Thus it is, General. Montano and myself being in speech, there comes a fellow crying out for help, and Cassio following him with determined sword to execute upon him. Sir, Montano steps into Cassio and entreats his pause. Myself, the crying fellow, did pursue. He, swift of foot, outran my purpose. When I came back, for this was brief, I found them close together at blow and thrust, even as again they were when you yourself did part them. Though Cassio did some little wrong to him, yet surely he received from him that fled some strange indignity which patience could not pass.
I know, Iago, your honesty and love does mince this matter, making it light to Cassio. Cassio, I love thee, but never more be officer of mine. Montano, for your hurts, myself will be your surgeon. Lead him off. Iago, look with care about the town and silence those whom this vile brawl distracted. Good night.
Tell me, Cassio, what was he that you followed with your sword? What had he done to you?
I remember a mass of things, but nothing distinctly. Quarrel, but nothing wherefore.
But you are now well enough. How came you thus recovered?
It has pleased the devil drunkenness to give place to the devil wrath. One unperfectness shows me another to make me frankly despise myself.
Come, you are too severe morally.
I will ask him for my place again. He shall tell me I am a drunkard.
Come. You or any man living may be drunk at some time. I'll tell you what you shall do. Our general's wife is now the general. Confess yourself freely to her. Importune her help to put you in your place again. She is of so free, so kind, so apt, so blessed a disposition. She holds it a vice in her goodness not to do more than she is requested. This broken joint between you and her husband, entreat her to splinter.
You advise me well.
I protest. In the sincerity of love and honest kindness.
In the morning will I beseech the virtuous Desdemona to undertake for me. I'm desperate of my fortunes if they check me here.
You are in the right. Good night, Lieutenant. I must to the watch.
Good night, honest Iago.
And what is he, then, that says I play the villain? When this advice is free, I give, and honest, probable to thinking, and indeed the course to win the Moor again. For while this honest fool plies Desdemona to repair his fortunes, and she for him pleads strongly to the Moor, I'll pour this pestilence into his ear, that she repels him for her lust, and by how much she strives to do him good, she shall undo her credit with the Moor. So will I turn her virtue into pitch, and out of her own goodness make the net that shall enmesh them all.
Suspense. Part 1 of Othello by William Shakespeare. Tonight stars Richard Widmark, Kathy Lewis, and Elliot Lewis. Suspense. The abridged Othello was adapted for Suspense by Anthony Ellis and Elliot Lewis. The program was transcribed and directed by Mr. Lewis, with music arranged by Lucian Malwick, from themes by Giuseppe Verdi. The orchestra was conducted by Lud Gluskin. Featured in tonight's cast were Joseph Kearns as Cassio, William Conrad as Montano, and Irene Pedro as Amelia. Your narrator is Larry Thorne.
Richard Widmark may soon be seen in the 20th Century Fox picture, Pick-Up on South Street.
And remember next week, Mr. Lloyd Nolan in A Vial of Death.
You can buy Autolite Stay-Full batteries, Autolite resistor or standard type spark plugs, and Autolite electrical parts at your neighborhood Autolite dealers. Switch to Autolite. Good night.
Autolite and its 98,000 dealers bring you Richard Widmark, Kathy Lewis, and Elliot Lewis in tonight's presentation of
Suspense. Tonight, Autolite presents Part 2 of the first radio dramatization of William Shakespeare's tragic history of love and death, Othello. Our stars, Richard Widmark, Kathy Lewis, and Elliot Lewis.
Hi, Harlow. Doing some gardening?
Yes, sir, Hap, and here's my favorite plant.
Well, that's an Autolite Stay-Full battery.
Sure, it's a power plant for quick, dependable starts. And unlike other plants, this one needs water only 3 times a year in normal car use.
Oh, it's a daisy, Harlow.
And fern away the best battery blooming.
It never gets bushed, eh, Harlow?
Right. The Autolite Stay-Full is tougher than a cactus. Fiberglass retaining mats protect every positive plate to reduce shedding and flaking and give that famous battery longer life, as proved by tests conducted according to accepted life cycle standards. So, visit your Autolite battery dealer, the expert who services all makes of batteries, To locate him quickly, phone Western Union by number and ask for Operator 25.
I'll gladly tell you the name of your nearest Autolite battery dealer, where you can get an Autolite Stay Full, the battery that needs water only 3 times a year in normal car use.
And remember, from bumper to tail light, you're always right with Autolite.
And now, Autolite presents transcribed Part 2 of William Shakespeare's Othello, starring Richard Widmark as Iago, Kathy Lewis as Desdemona, and Elliot Lewis as the Moor, hoping once again to keep you in suspense. The scene is Cyprus. Othello has returned triumphant from the wars, now to govern the island with his wife Desdemona. The ensign, Iago, jealous of the position held by Cassio, lieutenant to Othello, plots revenge on both Cassio and the Moor, whom he hates.
Two things are to be done. My wife Amelia must move for Cassio to her mistress Desdemona. I'll set her on. Myself the while to draw the Moor apart and bring him jump when he may Cassio find soliciting his wife. Aye, that's the way. Dull not device by coldness and delay.
In happy time, Iago.
You have not been abed then, Cassio?
Why, no, the day it broke before we parted. I've made bold, Iago, to send in to your wife. My suit to her is that she will to virtuous Desdemona procure me some access.
And I'll devise a mean to draw the Moor out of the way, that your converse and business may be more free.
I humbly thank you for it. I never knew a Florentine more kind and honest.
Good morrow, good lieutenant. I'm sorry for your displeasure, but all will sure be well. Pray you come in. I will bestow you where you shall have time to speak your bosom freely.
I am much bound to you.
Be assured, good Cassio, I will do all my abilities in your behalf.
Bounteous madam, whatever shall become of Michael Cassio, he's never anything but your true servant.
Oh, sir, I thank you. Before Amelia here, I give you warrant of your place. Be assured, if I do vow a friendship, I'll perform it to the last article. My lord shall never rest. I'll intermingle everything he does with Cassio's suit. Therefore be merry, Cassio, for I should rather die than give your cause away.
Madam, here comes my lord.
Oh, madam, I'll take my leave.
Why, stay and hear me speak.
Madam, not now. I'm very ill at ease, unfit for mine own purpose.
I'll do your discretion.
I like not that.
What do you say?
Nothing, my lord. Or if I know not what.
Was not that Cassio parted from my wife?
Cassio, my lord? No, sure, I cannot think it that he would sneak away so guilty-like seeing you coming.
I do believe 'twas he.
How now, my lord? I have been talking with a suitor here, a man that languishes in your displeasure.
Who is it you mean?
Why, your Lieutenant Cassio. Good, my lord, if I have any grace or power to move you, I pray you call him back.
Went he hence now?
Yes, face so humble that he has left part of his griefs with me. I suffer with him. Good love, call him back.
Not now, sweet Desdemona. Some other time.
But shall be shortly.
The sooner, sweet, for you.
Shall be tonight for supper.
No, not tonight.
Tomorrow dinner, then.
I shall not dine at home. I meet the captains at the Citadel.
Why, then, tomorrow night or Tuesday morn, on Tuesday morn, or night or Wednesday morn. Name the time, but let it not exceed 3 days. In faith, he's penitent. When shall he come? Tell me, Othello.
No more. Let him come when he will. I will deny you nothing. Whereon I do beseech you grant me this, to leave me but a little to myself.
Shall I deny you? No. Farewell, my lord.
Farewell, my Desdemona. I'll come to thee straight.
Amelia, come.
Perdition catch my soul, but I do love thee. And when I love thee not, chaos is come again.
My noble lord.
What do you say, Arnold?
Did Michael Cassio, when you wooed my lady, know of your love?
He did from first to last. Why do you ask?
But for a satisfaction of my thoughts, no further harm.
Why of your thought, Iago?
I did not think he had been acquainted with her.
Oh, yes, and went between us very often.
Indeed.
Indeed. Aye, indeed. Do you discern aught in that? Is he not honest?
Honest, my lord?
Honest, aye, honest.
My lord, for aught I know.
What do you think?
Think, my lord?
Think, my lord. By heaven, he echoes me. As if there were some monster in his thought too hideous to be shown. You meant something, I heard you say, but now. You liked not that when Cassio left my wife. What did you not like? If you do love me, show me thy thought.
My lord, you know I love you.
I think you do. And for I know you are full of love and honesty and weigh your words before you give them breath. Therefore, these stops of yours frighten me the more.
For Michael Cassio, I dare be sworn I think that he is honest.
I think so, too.
Men should be what they seem.
Certain men should be what they seem.
Why, then I think Cassio's an honest man.
Nay, yet there's more in this. I prithee speak to me as to thy thinking.
Good, my lord, pardon me. Though I am bound to every act of duty, I am not bound to that all slaves are free to. Utter my thoughts. Why, say they are vile and false.
You conspire against your friend, Iago, if you but think him wronged and make his ear a stranger to your thoughts.
It were not for your quiet nor your good, nor for my manhood, honesty, or wisdom to let you know my thoughts.
By heaven, I'll know your thought.
Oh, beware, my lord, of jealousy. It is the green-eyed monster which doth mock that meat it feeds on.
Why? Why is this? Do you think I'd make a life of jealousy? No, Iago. I see before I doubt. When I doubt, prove, and on the proof, there is no more but this, away at once with love or jealousy.
I'm glad of it. For now I shall have reason to show the love and duty that I bear you with franker spirit. Therefore, as I am bound, receive it from me. Look to your wife. Observe her well with Cassio. Wear your eye thus, not jealous nor secure. I would not have your free and noble nature out of self-bounty be abused. Look to it.
Do you say so?
She did deceive her father, marrying you, and when she seemed to shake and fear your looks, she loved them most.
And so she did.
I see this hath a little dashed your spirit.
Not a jot. Not a jot.
In faith, I fear it has. I hope you will consider what is spoke comes from my love. But I do see you're moved. I pray you not to strain my speech to grosser issues, nor to larger reach than to suspicion.
I will not.
Should you do so, my lord, my speech should fall into such vile success as my thoughts aim not at. Cassio is my worthy friend. My lord, I see you are moved.
No, not much moved. I do not think but Desdemona is honest.
Long live she so. And long live you to think so.
Farewell. If you do perceive more, let me know more. Set your wife Amelia to observe. Leave me, Iago.
My lord, I take my leave.
If she be false, oh, then heaven mocks itself. I'll not believe it.
Oh, now, my dear Othello, your dinner and the generous islanders by you invited to attend your presence.
I am to blame.
Why is your speech so faint? Are you not well?
I have a pain upon my forehead.
Face best this watching twill away again. Let me but bind your head. Within this hour it will be well again.
Your handkerchief is too little.
Othello puts the handkerchief from him, and Desdemona, unwittingly, drops it.
Come, I'll go in with you.
I am very sorry that you are not well.
They exit, leaving Amelia alone in the garden.
I'm glad I have found this handkerchief. This was her first remembrance from the moor. In recent days, my wayward husband has 100 times wooed me to steal it. But she so loves the token, for Othello conjured her she should ever keep it, that she reserves it evermore about her to kiss and talk to.
How now? What do you here alone?
Do not you chide. I have a thing for you.
A thing for me?
What will you give me now for that same handkerchief?
What handkerchief?
What handkerchief? Why, that the Moor first gave to Desdemona. That which so often you did bid me steal?
Hast stolen it from her?
No, Faith. She let it drop by negligence, and to the advantage I being here took it up. Look, here it is.
A good wench. Give it me.
What will you do with it that you have been so earnest to have me filch it?
Why, what's that to you?
If it be not for some purpose of import, give it me again. Poor lady, she'll run mad when she shall lack it.
I have use for it. Go, leave me. I will in Cassio's lodging lose this handkerchief and let him find it. Trifles light as air are to the jealous confirmation strong as proofs of Holy Writ. This may do something. The Moor already changes with my poison. I did say so. Look where he comes.
False to me. To me?
Why, how now, General? No more of that.
Begone, you've set me on the rack. I swear it is better to be much abused than but to know a little.
I am sorry to hear this.
Villain! Be sure thou prove my love a strumpet. Be sure of it. Give me the ocular proof. Or by the worth of man's eternal soul, you'd better have been born a dog than answer my weight wrath.
It's come to this.
Make me to see it. I'll have some proof. I'll not endure it.
I see, sir, you are eaten up with passion. I do repent me that I put it to you. You would be satisfied?
Would, nay, I will. Give me a living reason she's disloyal.
I do not like the office. But since I am entered into this cause so far, pricked to it by foolish honesty and love, I will go on. I lay with Cassio lately, and being troubled with a raging tooth, I could not sleep. There are a kind of men so loose of soul that in their sleep will mutter their affairs. One of this kind is Cassio. In sleep, I heard him say, "Sweet Desdemona, let us be wary. Let us hide our love." And then, sir, would he grip and wring my hand, cry out, "Sweet creature," and then kiss me hard as if he plucked up kisses by the roots that grew upon my lips, and then cried, "Cursed fate that gave thee to the Moor." Monstrous. 'Tis a shrewd doubt, though it be but a dream. And this may help to thicken other proofs that do demonstrate thinly.
Tear her to pieces.
Nay, but be wise, yet we see nothing done. She may be honest yet. Tell me but this. Have you not sometimes seen a handkerchief spotted with strawberries in your wife's hand?
I gave her such a one. 'Twas my first gift.
I know not that, but such a handkerchief, I'm sure it was your wife's. Did I today see Cassio wipe his beard with?
If be that.
If be that, or any that was hers, it speaks against her with the other proofs.
Now do I see 'tis true. Oh, blood, Iago. Blood.
Then witness that here Iago does give up the execution of his wit, hands, heart, to wronged Othello's service. Let him command, and to obey shall be in me remorse what bloody business ever.
I will upon the instant put you to it. Within these 3 days, let me hear you say that Cassio's not alive.
My friend is dead. 'Tis done at your request. But let her live.
Damn her! Lewd minx, damn her! Come, go with me apart. I will withdraw to furnish me with some swift means of death for the fair devil. Now art thou my lieutenant.
I am your own. Forever.
Autolite is bringing you Richard Whitmark, Kathy Lewis, and Elliot Lewis in Part 2 of William Shakespeare's Othello. Tonight's presentation in radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense.
May time's the time, eh, Harlow?
Yeah, the time to get an Autolite Stay Full battery. the perfectly performing, peerless producer of prompt propulsions that needs water only 3 times a year in normal car use.
A pretty particular package, Harlow.
Yes, Hap, and that personable, power-packed Paragon is persistently prepared to give quick-starting power every time. Fiberglass retaining mats protect every positive plate to reduce shedding and flaking and give the Autolite Stay Full battery longer life, as proved by tests conducted according to accepted life cycle standards.
And what's the name again, Harlow?
Why, the Autolite Stay Full, the battery that says right on the case, needs water only 3 times a year in normal car use. Friends, to quickly locate your nearest Autolite battery dealer, just phone Western Union by number and ask for Operator 25.
I'll gladly tell you his name and address.
And remember, from bumper to tail light, you're always right with Autolite.
And now, Autolite brings back to our Hollywood soundstage Richard Widmark, Kathy Lewis, and Elliot Lewis in the concluding act of Mr. Lewis's production of William Shakespeare's Othello, a tale well calculated to keep you in suspense. Desdemona's bedchamber, early evening.
Well, my good lady. How do you, Desdemona?
Well, my good lord.
Give me your hand. This hand is moist, my lady.
It yet has felt no age, nor known no sorrow.
Hot, and moist. Here's a young and sweating devil here that commonly rebels. 'Tis a good hand, a frank one.
You may indeed say so, for 'twas that hand that gave away my heart.
A liberal hand.
I cannot speak of this. Come, your promise.
What promise, Chuck?
I have sent to bid Cassio come speak with you.
I have a salt and sullen room offends me. Lend me thy handkerchief.
Here, my lord.
That which I gave you.
I have it not about me.
Not?
No, faith, my lord.
That's a fault. That handkerchief did an Egyptian to my mother give. She dying gave it me and bid me when my fate would have me wife to give it her. I did so. And take heed on it. Make it a darling like your precious eye. To lose or give it away with such perdition as nothing else could match.
Faith is true.
Most veritable, therefore look to it well.
Then would to God that I had never seen it.
Ah, wherefore?
Why do you speak so startling and rash?
Is it lost? Is it gone? Speak, it's out of the way.
Bless.
Say you?
It is not lost, but what and if it were? I say it is not lost.
Touch it. Let me see it.
Why, so I can, sir, but I will not now. This is a trick to put me from my suit. I pray let Cassio be received again.
Fetch me that handkerchief. My mind misgives.
I pray talk to me of Cassio.
The handkerchief.
A man that all his time has founded his good fortunes on your love, shared danger.
The handkerchief.
Faith, you are to blame.
Down! They that mean virtuously and yet do so, the devil their virtue tempts, and they tempt heaven.
So they do nothing. 'Tis a venial slip. But if I give my wife a handkerchief...
What then?
Why, then 'tis hers, my lord. And being hers, she may, I think, bestow it on any man.
She is protectress of her honor, too. May she give that?
Oh, 'tis foul in her.
With mine office.
That's fouler.
Get me some poison, Iago, this night. I'll not expostulate with her, lest her body and beauty unprovide my mind again. This night, Iago.
Do it not with poison. Strangle her in her bed.
Good. The justice of it pleases. Very good.
And for Cassio, let me be his undertaker. You shall hear more by midnight.
There? Othello?
Hi, Desdemona.
Will you come to bed, my lord?
Have you prayed tonight, Desdemona?
Aye, my lord.
If you bethink yourself of any crime unreconciled as yet to heaven and grace, solicit for its strength.
Alas, my lord, what may you mean by that?
Well, do it and be brief. I will walk by. I would not kill thy unprepared spirit. No, heaven forfend, I would not kill thy soul.
talk you of killing?
I do.
Heaven have mercy on me.
Think on thy sins.
They are loves I bear to you.
And for that you die.
That death's unnatural that kills for loving. What's the matter?
That handkerchief which I so loved and gave you gave to Cassio.
No. By my life and soul, send for the man and ask
Sweet
him.
soul, take heed. Take heed of perjury. You're on your deathbed.
Aye, but not yet to die.
Yes, presently. Therefore confess you freely of your sin. You are to die.
Lord, have mercy on me.
I say amen.
And have you mercy, too. I never did offend you in my life. Never loved Cassio. Never gave him token.
Oh, perjured woman. You stone my heart and make me call what I intend to do a murder, which I thought a sacrifice.
I never gave it to him. Send for him hither. Let him confess it truth.
He has confessed.
What, my lord?
That he has used thee.
How? Unlawfully?
Aye.
He will not say so.
No, his mouth is stopped. Honest Iago's taken order for him.
I fear interprets then. What? Is he dead?
Had all his hairs been lives, my great revenge had stomach for 'em all.
Alas, he is betrayed and I undone.
Oh, strumpet! Weep you for him to my face!
Banish me, my lord, but kill me not. Kill me tomorrow. Let me live tonight.
Nay, it is too late.
Oh, Lord. Lord.
My lord. What ho? My lord. Good, my lord, I would speak a word with you.
'Tis Amelia. No more moving. Still as the grave.
My lord!
If she come in, she'll sure speak to my wife. My wife. I have no wife.
I don't beseech you that I may speak with you, good my lord.
Soft by. Let me the curtains draw. What's the matter?
Oh, my good lord.
What now?
Falsely murdered. Alas, what cries that?
That? What?
What an alas it is, my lady's voice. Help, oh, help. Oh, lady, speak again. Sweet Desdemona. Oh, sweet mistress, speak.
Guiltless death. I die.
Oh, who has done this deed?
It was I that killed her. She was false as water.
Thou as rash as fire to say that she was false. Oh, she was heavenly true.
Your husband knew it all.
My husband?
Your husband.
That she was false to wedlock?
I was Cassio.
If he say so, he lied to his heart. She was too fond of her most filthy bargain.
Huh?
Help! The Moor has killed my mistress. Murder!
What is the matter? How now, General?
Oh, you come, Iago. You have done well that men must lay their murders on your neck.
What is the matter?
Disprove this villain if you are a man. He says you told him that his wife was false.
I told him what I thought, and told no more than what he found himself was apt and true.
But did you ever tell him she was false?
I did.
You told a lie. An odious, damned lie. She fought with Cassio?
Iago knows that she was Cassio as the act of shame 1,000 times committed. And she did gratify his amorous works with the recognizance and pledge of love which I first gave her. It was a handkerchief.
Oh, thou dull Moor. The handkerchief you speak on I found by fortune and did give my husband. For often with a solemn earnestness, more than indeed belonged to such a trifle, he begged of me to steal it.
Villainous!
She gave it, Cassio. No, alas, I found it and I did give my husband.
Filth, you lie!
Are there no stones in heaven but what serve for the thunder? Precious villain!
Bring his force on him! I plead, sir, but not killed.
I am not sorry, neither. I'd have thee live. For in my sense, 'tis happiness to die.
Othello, you must forsake this room and go with us. Your power and your command is taken off. You shall close prison or rest till that the nature of your fault be known to the Venetian state. Come, bring him away.
Soft you. A word or two. I have done the state some service, and they know it. No more of that. I pray you, in your letters, when you shall these unlucky deeds relate, speak of them as they are. Nothing extenuate, nor set down aught in malice. Then must you speak of one that loved not wisely, but too well. Of one not easily jealous, but being wrought, perplexed to the extreme. Of one whose hand, like the base Indian, threw a pearl away, richer than all his tribe. I kissed thee ere I killed thee. No way but this, killing myself to die upon a kiss.
Look on the tragic lodging of this bed. This is thy work, Iago. The object poison's sight, let it be hid. Myself will straight aboard, and to the state this heavy act, with heavy heart, relate.
Suspense. Presented by Autolite. Tonight stars Richard Widmark, Kathy Lewis, and Elliot Lewis.
This is Harlow Wilcox speaking for Autolite, world's largest independent manufacturer of automotive electrical equipment. Autolite is proud to serve the greatest names in the industry. They are members of the Autolite family, as well as other 98,000 Autolite distributors and dealers in the United States and thousands more in Canada and throughout the world. Our family also includes the nearly 30,000 men and women in 28 great Autolite plants from coast to coast and Autolite plants in many foreign countries, as well as the 18,000 people who have invested a portion of their savings in Autolite. Every Autolite product is backed by constant research and precision built to the highest standards of quality and performance. So remember, from bumper to tail light, you're always right with Autolite.
Next week, a story based on fact. The true report of a man who lost a jar which contained the destruction of a city. It is called A Vial of Death, and it will star Mr. Lloyd Nolan. That's next week on Suspense. The abridged Othello was adapted for Suspense by Anthony Ellis and Elliot Lewis. The program was transcribed and directed by Mr. Lewis, with music arranged by Lucian Morwick, from themes by Giuseppe Verdi. The orchestra was conducted by Lud Gluskin. Featured in tonight's cast were Joseph Kearns as Cassio, William Conrad as Montano, and Irene Tedrow as Amelia. Your narrator is Larry Thor.
Richard Widmark may soon be seen in the 20th Century Fox picture Pickup on South Street.
And remember next week, Mr. Lloyd Nolan in A Vial of Death.
You can buy Autolite Stay-Full batteries, Autolite resistor or standard type spark plugs, and Autolite electrical parts at your neighborhood Autolite dealers. Switch to Autolite. Good night.
Listen. That whistle is your signal for the Signal Oil program, The Whistler. Rated tops in popularity for a longer period of time than any other West Coast program. And Signal gasoline is tops, too. Tops in quality. It takes extra quality, you know, to give you extra mileage. And Signal is the famous Go Farther gasoline, available wherever you see the Signal circle sign in yellow and black.
that identifies independent signal dealers from Canada to Mexico.
I am the Whistler, and I know many things, for I walk by night. I know many strange tales hidden in the hearts of men and women who have stepped into the shadows. Yes, I know the nameless terrors of which they dare not speak.
And now the Whistler's strange story. Search for an unknown.
The tall, dark-haired man and his companion moved away from the bar, crossed the cocktail lounge, and stopped before the huge windows to gaze out over the city. As they stood there, watching the flickering lights across San Francisco Bay, the girl unconsciously began toying with the shiny new wedding band on her finger. Then, as the man raised his glass to drink, she turned and looked up to him.
What are you thinking about, Frank?
Albert Maxwell. The little guy over there across the bay waiting in the death cell.
What time is it?
He's got 10 minutes to go.
He deserves to die.
Yeah. Not if I'd played this case smart, things might have turned out better. Sometimes I wish I'd never been mixed up in it at all.
Do you, Charlie? If you hadn't, you wouldn't have met me.
I'd have found you somewhere, darling, sooner or later. You know, Julie, maybe I ought to give it up. Quit making like a private eye and take up selling shoelaces.
I'd much rather you remain Frank Ferguson, private investigator.
Funny, most wives would object.
Would it make any difference if I did?
Maybe. Maybe not. Come on, Julie, let's go home.
All right. Frank, in a few minutes, when the execution's over, you're going to forget the whole thing, aren't you?
Sure. Sure, I'll forget it.
As Frank Ferguson and his bride of 24 hours moved across the cocktail lounge toward the elevators, he wondered if he could forget it, forget the story at all. Of course, it wasn't his. He'd only played a small part in it. Actually, it was Duncan McKay's story. Duncan McKay, head of the largest gambling syndicate west of the Rockies. And Ferguson's thoughts went back to the night it all began. The night months ago when he arrived at McKay's heavily guarded estate in San Mateo, had been ushered into the billiard room by Jim Slade, McKay's bodyguard.
Mr. McKay?
Yes, Slade, what is it? Oh, come in.
Sorry, you're a billiard expert.
So you're Ferguson, huh?
Yeah, I'm Ferguson.
You know, you don't look...
I don't look like a private eye. That's what they keep telling me.
You play?
By the boys along Montgomery Street, I was voted most likely to rip up the table in 1949.
Yeah, how'd you play this one?
Against the cushion. Where else?
5 says I do it the hard way.
5?
You can deduct it from my bill, huh?
Why did you send for me, McKay?
Well, they tell me you're a pretty smart boy.
Let's get to the point, huh?
Sure. The point, Ferguson, is that somebody is out to kill me.
That's news?
All right. I've been threatened before, but this time, well, it's a little different. I received a letter a few days ago, a letter threatening my life.
Doesn't sound like any of your former playmates, huh?
That's right. They wouldn't operate that way. From the crowd, you don't get advance notice. You suddenly wind up in an alley full of slugs.
So you got a letter. Why worry? You got a nice setup here. You can hide behind your steel fence and those guards. There isn't a chance of anybody getting close enough to you to do any damage. What are you so nervous about?
I'm not nervous, Ferguson. Not worried at all. Let's say I'm amused. My curiosity's been aroused. This whole thing intrigues me.
I don't get it.
You will. Here, just a second. Yeah. Yesterday afternoon's paper on page 2. Pictures and everything.
Mm-hmm. So So a couple of citizens in Frisco received threatening letters. Same as yours?
Yeah, the same.
Julie Wilson, Albert Dobbs. A hat-check girl and a hardware clerk. Friends of yours?
Never saw them before in my life.
She's a good-looking dame.
If you like hat-check girls.
I don't throw rocks at anybody.
According to the paper, the Wilson girl doesn't know Dobbs, and he's never heard of her. So there it is, Ferguson. 3 strangers. We each get a letter threatening us with death. And we don't know why.
There must be some connection.
Now, that's why I hired you, Ferguson. I want you to find out what that link is. What ties me up with a hat-check girl and a guy who sells nuts and bolts in some crummy hardware store.
You resent the company, McKay? That's what's bothering you?
At some point in our lives, our paths must have crossed. Somewhere
along the road, the 3 of you kicked somebody in the teeth. And now this somebody wants to introduce you to an embalmer the hard way.
Now, look, I want you to find out all there is to know about this Wilson dame. And this guy, Albert Dobbs. Where they're from, what they've done, who they know, everything. I want a complete report on both of them.
All right, McKay. I'll even find out what kind of toothpaste they use. Let me see you make this shot, huh? 10 says that you don't.
10 says I do.
Thought you said you weren't nervous, McKay. I'll add it onto the bill, I'll see you around. Don't worry, I'll take care of everything.
You smile as Ferguson leaves, don't you, McKay? Confident that once he finds out all there is to know about Julie Wilson and Albert Dobbs, once the link is established between the 3 of you, that you'll know is threatening your life, and then you'll take care of everything. In the days that follow, you wait anxiously for some word from Ferguson, and then finally one evening...
Yes?
Hello, McKay. This is Ferguson.
Well?
I thought you better know, McKay. Somebody else received one of those letters. A guy named Brovelli. Gino Brovelli. You know him?
Brovelli? I never heard of him. But put him on the list, along with Julie Wilson and that Dobbs guy. Talk to him.
Okay, but he won't answer.
Why not?
He met with an accident. He's on a slab at the morgue.
With the prologue of Search for an Unknown, the Signal Oil Company brings you another strange story by The Whistler. But first, a word of wisdom about a major purchase that many of you drivers will be making during the coming winter months, a new battery. When you compare the cost of different batteries, remember this. The important thing is not the first cost, but the cost per month, which, of course, depends on how long the battery lasts. Measured by that yardstick, one of today's most economical batteries is the new extra long life Signal Deluxe battery. Instead of being guaranteed for only a year or 18 months like most batteries, the new Signal Deluxe batteries are guaranteed for a full 2.5 years on a service basis. The secret of this amazingly long life is their improved type all-rubber separators, the finest kind known to battery engineering. In addition, this improved construction helps Signal Deluxe batteries deliver up to 35% more power, a great help in taking care of the many electrical gadgets on today's automobile. So before you buy any battery, find out from your Signal dealer the generous trade-in he's now offering for old batteries, plus his convenient credit terms on new Signal Deluxe batteries. You'll see for yourself that on a per-month basis, it actually costs less to enjoy the quicker starting and long dependability of today's finest battery, a Signal Deluxe battery. And now back to the Whistler.
You don't like to admit it, do you, McKay? But the news is more than a little disturbing. The news that the killer has claimed his first victim. A man named Brovelli is dead. A man who, along with Julie Wilson and Albert Dobbs, received a threatening letter similar to the one that was sent to you. But the killer will never reach you, will he? Not as long as you remain within the protective walls of your estate, with Jim Slade, your bodyguard, close by your side. You're going to play it safe and wait until you find the link, the tie between you, Julie Wilson, and Albert Dobbs. And then you'll go after the killer yourself. As you pace the floor of your library, 1,000 questions flash through your mind. Questions you waste little time asking when Ferguson finally arrives.
That's what I said, McKay, a window washer.
Rovelli, a window washer.
Yeah, he fell out of a 20-story window late yesterday afternoon. It looked like an accident. That is, until this letter came around to his boarding house this morning. The landlady spotted it the way it was addressed, you know. She called the cops.
Now, wait a minute. Rovelli was already dead when the letter arrived.
Yeah, the letter was postmarked yesterday at 5 p.m. Rovelli took a dive around 3.
Yeah, but why mail a letter to a man after you've already killed him?
Well, maybe the killer saw an opportunity to knock off Rovelli ahead of schedule and took it. That's one way of looking at it.
Yeah, there's another.
A couple of more, McKay. Suppose Rovelli wasn't on your friend's list at all. Suppose the letter was written by some crackpot, a guy with a warped sense of humor.
You said the letter was the same.
Well, sure, but anybody can get a piece of butcher paper and scrawl something on it with a hunk of red crayon.
Oh, you think that's what happened?
No, here's what I think happened. The killer hears about a guy falling out of a building. This gives him an idea. He decides to make you sweat a little, so he writes the letter. You get the picture?
Yes, I get the picture.
Your nerves are showing, McKay.
All right. What do you find out about the others? The Wilson girl. Dobbs.
Well, here's a 10-page report on Julie Wilson, or a hat-check girl faces life. She's a sweet kid, McKay.
Is she, Ferguson? How'd you meet her? Barroom pickup? She throw herself at your feet when you bought her a beer?
No. It was all very formal, McKay. The gent who owns the club where she works introduced us. Like I said, she's a sweet kid. I've been to the club lots of times. Somehow I never noticed her.
Yeah, maybe that's because you never check your hat, huh?
Touche.
Now, how about this hardware clerk, this Albert Dobbs? What'd you dig up on him?
I didn't. He disappeared.
Disappeared?
I went around to his hotel this afternoon. The clerk told me he packed up and left. Address unknown.
Fine. That's great.
Well, don't get excited. I got a couple of leads I want to check on as soon as I get back to town. I'll find him, McKay.
I'll see that you do. And call me the minute you line up anything.
Sure.
Slade?
Yeah?
You show Mr. Ferguson out and see I'm not disturbed for the next few hours.
All right, Mr. McKay.
It's almost 4 a.m. when you finally set aside the report on Julie Wilson. You've been over it again and again and again. But it's revealed absolutely nothing, not the slightest clue, not a single link to connect your life with that of the girl. You turn out the desk lamp, lean back in your chair, and close your eyes. There's still Albert Dobbs, the hardware clerk, isn't there, McKay? Yes. Perhaps in his story you'll find the missing pieces of the puzzle. The days drag on. You wait impatiently for Ferguson to call, but he doesn't. And then on the morning of the 4th day, Slade interrupts you at breakfast.
Yeah? What is it, Slade?
It's about Ferguson, Mr. McKay.
Yeah? Well, how about him?
He's been checking up on you.
You what?
Yeah, that's right. Been going around town asking a lot of questions. They're all about you.
I don't like that, Slade. I don't like that at all. I'm not paying him to pry into... Wait a minute. How did you find out?
I've had one of my boys tailing him for a week.
Why?
Well, I thought it would be a good idea.
Yeah, what else have you found out?
He's been spending a lot of time with that Julie Wilson. They're getting real chummy. Real chummy. Of course, she's a good-looking doll.
Yeah.
He's up to something, Mr. McKay. Maybe she's in it with him.
You never trusted Ferguson, have you, Slade?
No. Why hasn't he told you he's found Albert Dobbs?
You what?
Yeah. There's something else I found out. My boy tailed him 2 days in a row to a crummy little hotel on Mission Street. Only it wasn't until a couple hours ago he found out who Ferguson was seeing there.
Dobbs?
Dobbs. Ferguson was talking to the little guy in the lobby. It hasn't turned out the way you planned at all, has it, McKay? Slade is right. Ferguson must be up to something. You're not exactly sure just what it is, but you're not going to take any chances. You hurry to the phone and dial. And as you do, you notice your hand is trembling. You call Ferguson's office. There's no answer. Then you ring his apartment.
Hello?
Hello? Who is this?
Well, who'd you wish to speak to?
Ferguson. I'm a client of his.
Oh, just a minute.
The Wilson dame. She's at his apartment.
Uh-huh.
Hello? This is McKay.
Yeah.
Was that the Wilson girl?
Yeah. We figured it'd be a lot safer if she stayed here at my place while I'm away.
You're not going anywhere, Ferguson.
Well, you're wrong, McKay. I am.
No, you're wrong, Ferguson. I want to see you right away.
Sorry, I'm due at the airport in half an hour. I'm flying down to L.A. I'll see you when I get back. I'm onto something.
Yeah, I'll bet you are. All right, Ferguson. I'll see you when you get back. You can count on it.
Leaving town, is he?
Yeah. He didn't mention Dobbs. We got to get moving, Slade. Ferguson's a smart operator. If he can fit this puzzle together before I do, he'll have me right behind the 8-ball.
Yeah. He gets the story from the girl, from Dobbs, checks on your background, and he's in.
Yeah.
He can cause you plenty of trouble and cost you plenty of money, too.
Well, that may not be what he has in mind, but I'm not going to take many chances. From now on, I'm going to handle things my way. Tonight, we're going to drop around to Ferguson's apartment and have a nice, long talk with Julie Wilson.
Yes?
Hello, Julie.
Hello?
We're friends of Ferguson.
Oh, he isn't here right now.
Yeah, I know. Come on, Slade.
Just a minute. What do you want?
Relax. Nobody's going to hurt you. We just want to talk, that's all.
About what?
This. Little report on you, Julie. I want to be sure you didn't leave out anything on purpose. Now, sit down.
I don't know anything about it. You gotta believe
Come
me.
on, sister. Now, take it easy, Slade. You might hurt the pretty lady.
Please, I told you all I know. Now leave me alone.
What did you tell Ferguson? What did you tell him he forgot to include in his report?
Honest, I don't know what you mean.
Now, look, it's getting late and my patients are getting a little bit thick. Oh, hello, Ferguson. You got back from L.A. in a hurry.
What's the idea, McKay?
Oh, we just dropped around, have a friendly chat.
Look, McKay, I don't like guys to call on my girl unless she invites them.
Your girl?
That's what I said. Julie and I are going to get married.
Please, Frank, it's all right.
Married, huh? You know, I don't get you at all, Ferguson. When I showed you her picture in the paper, you didn't know it.
I didn't then. This happened kind of quick between us.
I see.
I don't think you do, McKay. Whether you do or not, you can take a powder now and take your ape with you.
Listen, Ferguson. All right, Slade, don't annoy Mr. Ferguson. His finger figure is nervous. He might do something rash. Come on. We'll see you around, Ferguson. Remember, I still want to talk to you.
What do you think, Mr. McKay?
Yeah, I'd say the girl was leveling. But I'm still not sold on Ferguson. And we'll find out soon enough. Where's Dobbs heading out?
Mission Street, near the waterfront. Not too far from here.
Well, let's go see him. You know, he might have the answer.
Yeah. You want to believe that, don't you, McKay? That Dobbs holds the key to the mystery. That once you've heard his story, you'll know who sent the letter threatening your life. A quarter of an hour later, you park your car on Lower Mission Street, while Slade hurries into a small, dimly lit hotel. A few minutes, and he's back.
He's registered under a phony name. Clerk said he hasn't come in yet.
Yeah, you sure?
Cost me $5. I'm sure.
All right. We'll wait. Cigarette, will you, Slade?
Sure, Mr. McKay.
Yeah. Thanks. What time is it?
A little after 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock. What's keeping him?
Think he'll show?
He's got to.
I never saw you like this, Mr. McKay. Jumpy. It isn't like...
All right, I'm jumpy. What do you expect?
Sure.
I don't like this setup, Slade. Don't like it at all. I've always known who my enemies were. Always been able to take care of them when they came around looking for trouble. This time I don't know who I'm up against. Makes a lot of difference, Slade. Makes a lot.
What's wrong?
Up ahead. Just turned the corner. Coming this way.
Could be.
Wait. Wait till he walks by.
Dobbs? Like to talk to you.
Well, you're police?
No, we're not the police. Yeah, take it easy, Dobbs. We're not going to hurt you.
No, wait.
Now, relax. Come on. Hello, Dobbs.
Well, who are you?
A handy guy for you to know, if you want to level with me.
But I don't understand.
Hey, we'll talk about it on the way.
Where are we going?
Down to my place in the peninsula. Nice, quiet, very safe place for both of us, Doc.
Both of us?
I think it'd be a good idea for us to have a little talk. Maybe we can add up a few things and find out who's trying to kill us.
Us? You mean you two?
Yeah, we're both in the same boat. Now get in, Dobbs. We're wasting time.
Shortly after 3 a.m, you arrive at the gates of your estate. Watch them swing open. You nod to the guards and drive on up the roadway to the house. And a few minutes later, you're sitting in the library, facing Albert Dobbs across the desk.
Sure you won't have one, Mr. Dobbs?
No, thank you.
Yeah. Now go ahead, Slade. Fix yourself a drink.
Thanks.
So you don't know why anyone would want to kill you, eh, Dobbs? No idea at all.
No, Mr. McKay, I don't have any idea at all.
You're scared, aren't you?
Well, yes, I am. Aren't you?
Now, look, suppose you start in from the beginning. Maybe we can help each other.
Start in?
Yeah, I want you to tell me all there is to know about Albert Dobbs. Where you're from, where you've been, what you've done, who you know, everything.
Oh, I see. Yes.
Now, go ahead.
Yes, well, but I was born in 1893.
1893? Yeah, might as well pull up a chair, Slade. This is going to take a long time. But I've got a hunch this is it, and it's going to be worth it.
The Whistler will return in just a moment with a strange ending to tonight's story. Meantime, I'd like to ask one of you ladies a question. Are you going to serve iced tea with your Thanksgiving dinner?
Of course not. In cold weather, we prefer a hot drink.
Precisely. And just as you choose a different diet in cool weather, remember your car needs a different cold weather diet, too, if you want to keep performance up and wear down.
Just what do you mean by a cold weather diet for a car?
Well, first of all, the transmission and differential should be drained and refilled with the correct winter grade of signal gear lubricant. If your front wheel bearings and speedometer cable haven't been repacked for 5,000 miles, now's a good time to have your signal dealer tend to that. And, of course, the tired old motor oil should be drained and replaced with Signal Premium Compounded Motor Oil, the new type oil that does so much more than just lubricate.
What more can an oil do than lubricate?
A good question. You see, because scientific compounds have been added to Signal Premium Compounded Motor Oil, it actually removes carbon and prevents corrosion. That's why more and more drivers who want a sweeter running motor are switching to Signal Premium Compounded Motor Oil. And now, back to the Whistler.
It's almost dawn now, and you're tired, aren't you, McKay? You lean back wearily in your chair, close your eyes, listen to the voice of Albert Dobbs as it drones on and on. Names, dates, places, and more names and dates and places. Not a one stirred a single spark in your memory. But the story of Albert Dobbs isn't over yet, is it? Somewhere your paths must have crossed. Somewhere you met the one person who now wants to kill you both.
I had to leave.
I went back to Los Angeles.
Oh, wait a minute. When was this again?
Well, let's see, 1929.
All right. 1929, L.A. Where'd you live?
On 54th Street, near Figueroa.
Where?
Well, 54th Street. I had a small flat near there. Well, what's the matter, Mr. McKay? Have I said something?
In an instant, your thoughts raced back through the years. Back to that unfortunate little affair on 54th Street in Los Angeles. 19 years ago, wasn't it, McKay? You were just one of Galetti's strong-arm boys then, selling protection to small shopkeepers. And that night, your methods of persuasion proved fatal to a man who ran a grocery store. You're confident now that you're on the right track at last. Dobbs, the frightened little man who sits facing you across the desk, has established the link. The rest of his story will supply information you've been looking for. But you don't want your bodyguard Slade around over here.
Slade.
Yeah, Mr. McKay?
Yeah, why don't you turn in and get some sleep?
Oh, that's all right. I don't think...
You better turn in, Slade.
Sure. You're the boss.
Now, all right, Dobbs. About 54th Street in L.A. Now, suppose you tell me who... Hello?
McKay, this is Ferguson.
Yeah, what do you want, Shamus?
Look, McKay, you can thank Julie for this call. She talked me into it. I was in favor of letting you sweat.
What are you talking about?
Till I made that trip to L.A., I wasn't sure. I am now. I've got your man, the guy who's trying to kill you. As soon as I hang up, I'm calling the police.
Wait a minute. You know who...
Yeah. A guy named Maxwell died in L.A. His brother's been after you a long time, McKay. With all that protection you had, he couldn't get close to you. So he figured out a way to get you to come after him.
What?
That letter he sent you. He knew if he mailed the other two to a couple of strangers, people you'd never heard of, your curiosity would be aroused. The letter he sent to Julie was a blind. But the one he sent to himself was going to pay off.
To himself?
He'll kill you the first time he gets you alone, McKay, so I thought I ought to warn you. His real name is Albert Maxwell, but we know him as Albert Dobbs.
Dobbs? Dobbs is...
That's right. I'm Albert Maxwell.
Wait a minute. You got me wrong. You got... Slade! Slade!
Let that whistle be your signal for the Signal Oil program, The Whistler, each Sunday night at this same time. Signal Oil Company has asked me to remind you that the Community Chest Drive, now in progress, deserves the support of all of us because all of us benefit either directly or indirectly through improved community conditions. So give generously to your community chest. Featured in tonight's story were Willard Waterman and Frank Lovejoy. The Whistler was produced and directed by George W. Allen with story by Adrian Jondeau and music by Wilber Hatch and was transmitted to our troops overseas by the Armed Forces Radio Service. Remember at this same time next Sunday, another strange tale by The Whistler. Marvin Miller speaking. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Arch Obler's Plays. On the winds of the night, we bring you a story whispered in the night.
fantastical liberalism. Hey, youth, that leaves, there's us. The skies sing with their wings, the wings of courage and of daring, bringing the truer civilization and liberty to people who wait for it eagerly and with hope. Yes, I repeat, even now, the skies sing with the wings of daring and ambition and glory.
Hello. Yes, Captain?
Isn't that the village?
No, I don't think so.
It is, I tell you.
But, Captain, the order says the village was won by a water hole. I see no water down there.
What is the difference?
But the orders...
I'm giving her orders. Drop down 500 feet. I don't want to miss the beggars.
As you say, Captain.
They're all the same anyway. What's the difference if it is another village? We need all our petrol to get back. All right. Level off. Hold it. 2 little presents and home we go non-stop. I never disappoint a lady.
Should I keep circling?
Of course. Of course. This is the moment I like, Marlowe. My hand on the release lever. The leader is right. Power is the greatest thing in the world.
I know it is another village.
Marlowe, you're a fool. What difference does it make? The orders were to teach them a lesson. Well, one village is like another. Those beggars down there are the same breed. Hold it steady. The lesson begins. There. And again. Climb!
The order said we were to machine gun the man.
Machine gun what? 2 holes in the ground. Home, you old woman. And fast. He is very pretty. And not quite asleep.
Captain, wake up.
What do you want?
The wireless is not working again.
Huh?
If you will take over, I will fix it.
All right. Fog, huh? Marlowe.
Yes, Captain.
When did the fog come up?
While you were asleep.
I do not like fog. Well, haven't you got that wireless going yet?
It is no use.
Huh?
Resistance burned out. There is nothing I can do. The fog grows thicker.
I have eyes, haven't I? Here. You take over.
I was expecting
Shut your mouth. Here. Take over.
All right. Captain, do you remember the time in the Plaza of Heroes they gave you a medal because...
Stop talking. Put her up high.
Might as well. No clear sky down here. Is this high enough for you, Captain? Or does it make you dizzy?
Are you out of your head?
When the fog grows very thick, you lose your head, eh, Captain?
Shut your mouth. I order it.
I was remembering something else. 6 months ago, when the Minister of War made you the captain, remember in his speech he said for courageous, skillful flying.
I warn you to stop talking.
For all these months, I have wanted to ask you one question, Vittoria. Whose was the skill and whose was the courage? Yours? Mine.
When we are on the ground...
If we are on the ground, it will be with my skill. Mine. Look. the fog grows thicker and
Stop
thicker.
saying that.
You can see with your own eyes. Thick fog. Our wireless dead. If I turn the plane over to you now, would you be as brave as the mirror says you are?
Close your mouth. For the last time, I tell you.
The brave Captain Victor, who never flies alone.
Shut your mouth.
In the sun, it is your mouth that dares. In the fog, it is mine. A frightening thing, the fog, eh, Captain? Like something alive that comes out of the ground and tries to pull flyers down to the hole in hell where they come from.
There's no way to close your mouth.
Why don't you blast a few holes now through the fog so we can see where we're going?
This is the last time you fly with me, Big Mouth. The last... Malo.
What?
Malo, report engine.
Cut the petrol.
What?
Petrol line broken. Close the valve.
Malo. Malo, falling.
Get away from me.
Can't see anything. The fog.
Stop pulling at me, you fool.
Malo, get me down. I don't want to die. I can't...
Now, it's not a mark. Leave me alone. I've got to see yourself. We're passing it.
I won't die. I can't.
Wait. Look. What I saw. Yes. They're over land.
No, there is nothing.
There is land, I tell you. I saw it.
Yes. I see it. I am safe. I won't die. I will get down. I will.
Down.
We're down.
Yes.
I told you I would get you out of this. I told you. Malo! Ahead! The wall! Stop! The wall! Stop!
What? Correct. Captain. Victor. Where? So dark. Victor. Victor. Victoria.
What?
It's Malo. Where are you? So dark. Oh. I see you. Bed next to me.
Malo.
Victor. You all right?
My legs. Broke.
Oh. My own pain is less now.
No, don't talk. Help.
No, Victoria. Dishonor.
Order? Yes, order. You don't know who I am. I'm Captain Victor.
Wait. I assure you I know your identities quite well, good gentleman.
What do you mean?
Your identification papers were quite in order. And now a little more light, perhaps?
Yes.
I'll see you.
If you will pardon me.
No, stay. The pain.
Shut your mouth, will you? How can he help us until he brings light?
But the pain.
Pain. Did you expect to fall out of the clouds and wake up with the bands playing and a couple of women at your side?
How dare you?
You're a fool, Victor. Miracle happens to us. Smashing head on and then coming out of it with no more than broken bones. I tell you, it is a miracle.
Light.
Ah, that is good.
Only simple lanterns, but quite adequate, you will agree.
Doctor, whatever your name is, I am Captain of Aviation. An active duty for the commander.
I told you. I know.
And you know your duty. Stretch my legs. You hear me?
What is your business, gentlemen?
But you said you knew who I was. My identification papers. You said
Yes,
it.
I said I knew your business, gentlemen.
Aviator. I'm captain of...
Yes, a captain. But what is your business, Captain?
He wants to know what we do, Victor.
What is your business, gentlemen?
What is any aviator's business? To fly.
But why do you stand there talking? My leg broken. Fix them.
Did you stop to fix the bones, Captain? After you dropped the bombs on them?
What do you know of that?
Your plane was smashed quite badly, gentlemen, but not completely. Yes, there were 2 miracles.
What do you mean?
What are you talking about?
That the crash did not kill either of you, and that one small messenger of your civilization that was strung to the belly of your plane did not blast you to death.
Bomb.
It fell to the ground undamaged, unbroken, all of its explosive virility quite intact inside of its metallic loins. Poetic that, eh?
One of my bombs.
Yes. One of your bombs. Quite unhurt.
But I'm hurt. Do you hear me? Fix my leg. Stop the pain.
But why? We here are like you, gentlemen. If bodies are broken, if pain is given, we go our calm way. We do not stop. Good day, gentlemen.
Wait. Marlowe.
Doctor.
Doctor, come back. You can't leave me. Come back. I'm hurt. In pain. Help me. Are you crazy?
Yes, Captain. Yes, indeed. I am.
All right, Victor. All right. The pain. It grows left. Pain cannot go on forever. My legs are quite numb now. Yours will become that way, too.
The devil.
Strange day, this, huh? You and I were born of the devil to smash up and have a crazy man come to our rescue.
What time is it?
Time? Who knows?
But crazy old fool. Why do you want to talk?
Do not stop asking me why again, Victor. For a night I have been thinking those whys, and I know less than when I started. The man is crazy, that's all. When one is crazy, there are no whys.
He can't keep me here. Not me. I'll kill him.
Wait. Listen.
People.
Yes. Must be a street right below the window.
Get to the window, Marlowe. Get help.
If I throw something through the glass. Yes, the lamp.
No, stop. Huh? You'll bring that crazy devil
up
here.
Our only chance.
No, he'll kill us. Do not throw it.
I will.
Hit it? Yes, you did. Good, Marlowe, good. Now, someone will come up here to help us. And that old devil, I will have him put away where he was. Huh?
Listen.
Hmm?
I throw something through the glass, and everything below becomes quiet.
Why should that be?
Quiet. Listen.
Like someone raising a ladder against the wall.
Yes.
Someone is coming. They'll help me.
Why a ladder?
You think it's the crazy?
He must have heard the glass breaking. Climbing up here to laugh at us.
No, it can't be him. My legs. I've got to have help. I'll yell. I'll scream.
Stop that. Look. Head coming up.
No. No, it's not the crazy one. A girl.
Yes.
Come in, girl. Come in.
We need your help.
Yes, help. Call the police. Aviators. I am the aviator.
Come in, girl. We will not hurt you.
Don't sit there on the windowsill and stare at us, you fool. Don't you understand? I'm Captain Victoria.
Wait, Victoria. Wait. You frighten her. Come closer, girl. Closer. Look, my watch. I will give you this watch.
Pretty. You will give it to me?
Yes, of course he will. Give it to her, Marlowe.
Here, girl.
Pretty. You have other pretty things for me?
Yes. Here. Rings. My rings. There. Take Get help. Get me out of here.
Pretty. Oh, pretty. Pretty.
You simple little fool. Try to understand. Get me help. Get me out of here.
Pretty things. I like pretty things.
We'll get you plenty of pretty things. Cover you with them. Just go back the way you came and get help for me. Quickly.
I had so many pretty things.
Yes, but hurry, girl. Go quickly. Get me help.
I want more pretty things.
In my pocket, huh? Let's see. It hurts for the move. I have nothing. Marlowe, you give her...
Oh, you know I cannot move.
Pretty wings.
Here's the wings on my tunic. You can have them. Here.
Pretty.
Now go. Do you hear? Go get help.
Will they take these away from me, too?
What is she talking about?
I don't know.
I had so many pretty things. They took everything away. All my pretty things. It dropped from the sky. And when it was gone, everything was gone. Everything was gone.
Stop crying. Who took what away from you?
From the sky. From the sky.
Marlowe. This one's crazy too.
Now, good gentlemen, it is time again to talk.
I'll kill you. I'll kill you.
You know, that's why I like you, Mallow.
Well,
your captain is so overly dramatic. Kill you, he says to me. It is quite foolish and unnecessary, don't you think so?
You devil, you're keeping me here, not getting help. What are you trying to do? Cripple me for life?
I am doing nothing.
What are you going to do with us?
Money. I'll get you money. Just get me out of here. Money.
In this community, those silly little pieces of paper and metal are quite useless.
Are you crazy?
True enough. But haven't either of you discovered the greater truth?
Truth? What truth?
That everyone in this community is crazy.
Everyone? Crazy?
Oh, yes, indeed.
It cannot be.
But it is.
No, you're the only one.
How many times must I say it? This is my community, and we are all quite mad.
Where are we?
Or normal, all depending on the viewpoint.
Where is this place?
Ah, that's my little secret.
Secret? What do you mean?
Quite a long way from your civilization, and the high wall circles us. Remember, your airplane crashed into it?
Oh.
You see, my dear gentlemen, a long time ago, the people of what was once known as the normal world decided that I wasn't quite normal, so they were going to put me away. But I escaped them. Oh, quite cleverly. And I decided to make a world of my own. That is, a world normal to me.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's simple. In a community where all men are mad, none are mad. Understand?
Get us out of here.
Go ahead, Victoria. Listen to him.
Yes, listen to me. What was I saying? Oh, yes. So I discovered this place, and I settled here. But after a while, I grew quite lonely. And I thought to myself, why shouldn't I find others like myself? People again, I use the phrase, people the so-called normal world called abnormal. But it was quite difficult to find enough of them and to get them to come to my little utopia. Until you fixed it.
We? Madman. What have we to do with you?
I mean you and your kind. Remarkable how many people in this world became abnormal as soon as your sort began to... What is the word you use? Began to enlighten the world.
Marlowe, make him stop talking.
No, I want to hear him.
Yes, hear me out. Remarkable how many people became like I am as soon as the enlightenment of brutality, of conquest and domination, and above all, the enlightenment of flying bombs came upon them. I soon had more than enough candidates for my little community. Yes, indeed.
You can't keep us here.
No, not me. You can't.
But you surprise me, good gentlemen. This is the ideal place for you. The goal you and yours have striven for. Yours.
Ours?
Mother. What does he mean?
I mean that here in my little crazy town, we live and love and kill as our fancy strikes, without even the necessity of slogans and catchphrases with which to quiet the conscience. Oh, you'll want to stay with us, gentlemen.
Not me.
I won't stay here, you crazy old devil.
But are you so different, gentlemen?
That's same.
And so am I.
But your business, Captain. Is it sane to fly the skies, to bring death to creatures made in your own image? To kill women and children?
We do our duty.
No man has a duty beyond what he knows is right. And since you do what you do, it must be because you believe it is right to kill and destroy, with no more reason than the dictum of ambitious, power-mad men. So I assure you, gentlemen, you are one of us. And so you will stay.
No, you can't keep me here.
Against our will.
Yes, your legs will mend, so you must want to stay. For if you go and give away our little secret, that would be most unfortunate for the rest of us. Oh, it's very definite, good gentlemen. You must want to stay.
Not in a mile.
Not me.
Gentlemen, good gentlemen, you make me weary and angry explaining. I tell you, you and yours are like us. The Prince of Normal Men said, "Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth." And you say, "Blessed are they that take with force." So how can you be normal?
If I had a gun...
A gun. Now, that's another thing. The Prince of the Normal said, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God." And you say, "Blessed are the war makers." Now, that proves that you're like us.
Stop it! It's out of
He
here.
said, "Blessed are they that are persecuted for righteousness' sake, and blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and say all manner of evil against you. But you are the persecutors, good gentlemen, so you are one of us. I welcome you. We all welcome you. Come in, ladies and gentlemen."
Huh? Who are they?
Tell us who are they?
They are like you, the nobility of unreason. They have come to welcome you, gentlemen.
Hello. What? So dark. Leaving it for hours. The devil in hell, what is he up to?
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth, I tell you. If I go crazy, it will be you driving me to it.
You those other crazy ones. Bringing us here and leaving us. Planning our death. I know it. Marla, tell me. What are they up to?
I don't know.
What's that? What? Someone came into the room. No. Now what? Listen. I hear. Who's there? Who's there? Woman. Yes. Who are you? What do you want? The door.
What did she say?
I don't know. She... What is it? What? Something in the arm. I can't see anything so dark. I'm not afraid of her. The child. The child in the arm. Oh. Come closer, woman.
What do you want her for?
She can help us. Closer. Woman, closer. Woman, stop moaning to that child and listen. Listen. Help us get out of here, and we'll give you money. We'll get... Victoria, what? In her arms. Look. I can't twist around my leg. Woman, get away. Get away.
Victoria, what is it? What? You said the child.
No. Woman, get away.
Tell me what?
Bomb.
Here, Bomb.
Bomb. You have gone mad.
Now see for yourself, see. The bomb he stole us sent from our plane without exploding.
And woman, get out of here with that thing. Get out.
Get out with that woman. Get out. You set it off. You get off.
No.
Yes.
Wait, reason with her. Woman,
Woman, what are you saying? Why do you carry that bomb?
Baby. My baby.
Baby. No, it's a bomb. You hear me? A bomb.
Baby.
Put it down. If it goes off, it will kill you.
My baby. My baby. Something fell from the sky that way.
Victoria. She's crazy, too.
Oh, this is my baby now.
No.
My little baby.
No. Don't touch the percussion head. It will go off. Marla, get up. Take it away from her. My legs, I can't move her. No, don't touch it, woman. Don't.
Tonight's play, Crazy Town, was especially written for radio by Arch Oboler and featured Edmund O'Brien, Charlotte Manson, Paul Stewart, John Brown, and Betty Kane. Next week, we bring to you a new play titled The Word, a strange story of a strange adventure. Arch Oboler's Plays. On the winds of the night, we bring you a story, whispered in the night. Arch Oboler's Plays are presentations of the National Broadcasting Company, RCA Building, Radio City, New York.
Stone structure on the Thames, which houses Scotland Yard, is a warehouse of homicide, where everyday objects, a picture frame, a wicker chair, a telephone directory, all are touched by murder. A straight razor. It's a familiar object, a straight razor. Perhaps your father used one like this. Mine did. Straight, keen-edged bit of steel, beautifully sharpened and stropped to remove a man's whiskers, or perhaps...
A most efficient bit of Sheffield, isn't it, Sergeant?
Yes, Inspector. For its original purpose as well as the other. Matter of fact, I use one exactly like it every morning.
A grim sort, Sergeant. A very grim sort.
Today, that razor can be seen in the Black Museum.
From the annals of the Criminal Investigation Department of the London Police, we bring you the dramatic stories of the crimes recorded by the objects in Scotland Yard's Gallery of Death, the Black Museum. In just a moment, you will hear The Black Museum, starring Orson Welles. Now, The Black Museum, starring Orson Welles.
Scotland Yard's mausoleum of murder. Here lies death. Row on row of death marked with names of killer and killed, of murderers caught and of the murdered whose murderers were never found. It's a fascinating room. And here's a steel filing cabinet. Prosaic, and yet observe the sharp corner of this drawer. See? It's a stain. Small bits of hair. A woman fell against that drawer and struck her head. She died. A woman fell, or was she pushed? A book of jokes. Yes, funny stories. Ridiculous that this should be here. Well, perhaps not. A dying man turned down a page on which was printed an old joke about a wife. Ah, here we are. The razor. It's one of a set of 7. They used to come in wooden cases. You remember the 7 straight keen blades marked, one for each day of the week? And this one, well, it was used by a good-looking fellow of about 40 who had a way with the ladies. And no matter where, at home, in a parlor, or even in a hansom cab.
Mabel, you are the sweetest little thing.
Oh, I don't think it's proper you should talk to me like this, Mr. Wilson. After all, you are my employer.
Mabel, darling, my name is Larry. And what if you are my barmaid in my establishment? If you'll only say yes, you shall be my wife.
Mr. Wilson. Oh, Larry. Oh, but you can't mean that. A man like you would...
But apparently he did want the likes of her. To all appearances, Larry Wilson had fallen head over heels in love with Mabel Dill. Now, listen to Larry for a moment.
Mabel, little one, you've got to marry me. I can't see you waiting on the customers, drawing hay, working with me every day. I can't, and not have you for my wife.
An interesting accent, huh? Intriguing. Certainly to a susceptible young woman, that voice and that touch of accent was attractive. And when one has been a sheltered girl in 1896, as Mabel was, well...
Father, there's a letter from Mabel.
Is there now? I should think it about time our daughter wrote to us.
Oh, my goodness.
Something wrong?
Oh, yes and no.
Ridiculous. How can a thing be wrong, yes and no?
Mabel's wanting to be married. And to her employer.
What?
Well, there it is in the letter. And a note from him, too, telling her how much he loves her.
Oh, very well if he means it. How do we know?
Oh, perhaps it would be best if we went to find out.
Excellent, Mother. Write to Mabel at once. Tell her she's to do nothing, absolutely nothing, until she's had the chance to talk with us.
Simple people, the Dills, and eager to protect their daughter's future. So off they went, bag and baggage, to the Statue Tavern. A pub, in fact, owned by Larry Wilson, where Mabel was tending bar.
My word, it's a party, isn't it?
Looks like a wedding party to me.
Oh, must be there's a bride somewhere. Oh, there she is. It's Mabel.
Yeah, now, my girl, what's the meaning of this?
Oh, Dad. Oh, Dad. Oh, I'm so happy your mother got here today. Oh, Mabel, darling. Oh, didn't you get my letter?
Oh, there was no letter. Oh, come along and meet my Larry. You'll be as happy with him as I will.
Not much the Dills could do about it, was there? Mr. and Mrs. Larry Wilson, proprietors of the Statue Public House, the pub. And happy over it, too, both of them. Of course, things do happen sometimes in the most well-ordered of homes.
There we are, Mrs. Wilson. I'm sure you'll be all right.
Oh, Doctor, I'm so sick. I can't keep anything in my stomach. Oh, Doctor.
She is so ill, Dr. Grant. What is it, do you think?
Probably something she ate. This tonic will fix her up.
The Welsh rabbit, that's what it was. Tasted a bit funny to me. I didn't finish it, remember, Mabel?
Oh, I like rabbits so. Serves me right, I suppose, for being so greedy.
Well, you've learned your lesson, little lady. From now on, more care.
fill the prescription, Wilson, and I'll look in on it again this evening.
Right.
Mind now, less indulgence. Strict diet.
An upset stomach, that was all. Nothing serious. Except Mabel just didn't seem to get better. Mother Dill came to visit and decided to stay.
I'm staying on, Larry. You've got your pup to tend to. I'll tend to Mabel.
Mother Dill, there's nothing to be alarmed about.
I'm staying, and I'm asking Dr. Marshall to look at Mabel.
Who's he?
My family doctor. Known Mabel for 10 years.
Are you suggesting, Mother, that I'm not providing properly for my wife or giving her the best of care?
I'm not suggesting anything, Larry, except that you have to worry about so many things, and I have nothing to do but take care of my daughter.
I cannot allow it. A man's first duty is to his wife. More, I'm properly qualified. I can take care of her far better
Larry, I will not be put off. As for your qualifications, well, really, a barber is no doctor, even though some people permit barbers to bleed them.
Are you trying to insult me and drive me away from my wife?
The truth can be insulting, I suppose. However, from what Mr. Dill and I know, your care of your first 2 wives didn't work out so well. What with both of them dead and buried these 3 years.
There was no arguing with Mrs. Dill. Her child was suffering, and she intended to have her way, and she did. Dr. Marshall came in consultation with Dr. Grant.
It puzzles me. It does, really. You can see my position, Marshal. I've done everything the symptoms seem to call for. Nothing helps.
Well, we'll see. Meanwhile, if we can get her to take some nourishment, the poor child's just wasting away. I've known her take...
Of course, this was 1896, remember. There were no methods yet, such as a series of gastrointestinal tests or a basic metabolism test or any other of the modern means to determine the cause of intestinal ailments. The doctors had to work by observation and an occasional chemical reaction. In the case of Mabel Dill Wilson, it was tragic indeed.
Larry. Larry.
He's downstairs, darling. Mother's here.
Oh, Larry. Oh, it's Larry.
I'll call him, dear.
Larry! Will you leave the bar and come upstairs? Larry!
Larry Wilson came upstairs, and quickly, 2 at a time. He raced up the stairs and entered his wife's room.
Is that you, Larry?
Yes, sweetheart, it is.
I waited for you, Larry. Goodbye, darling.
Mabel, darling. You took good care of her, Mother Dill. Excellent care, I must say. Your daughter, my wife, is dead.
The child bride was dead, no doubt about it. The mother's tears were matched only by the husband's angry sorrow. He faced the 2 doctors.
What did she die of, gentlemen? What?
My diagnosis is exhaustion following inflammation of the intestines.
I do not know, as yet.
You do not know. You do not know. Are you a doctor or aren't you?
I take offense at your tone, Mr. Wilson. For your information, I have refused to approve the death certificate.
What?
Dr. Grant wishes to certify cause of death. I agree that his idea of inflammation of the intestines is probably correct. But I do not know, as yet, what caused the inflammation. When I do know, I shall be glad to sign the certificate. Whatever caused the inflammation caused the death.
How do you expect to determine this?
By a post-mortem, Mr. Wilson. I shall do it myself, with Dr. Grant as a witness.
I shall not permit...
But you will permit it, Mr. Wilson, because if you don't, I shall have to report the whole matter to the police and the coroner.
The stage is set. The actors are in their place and the drama has begun. And yet there's something missing. An item of evidence, which was to provide the whole affair with by far its most horrifying aspect. It was a case of razors. Razors, which can be seen today in the Black Museum.
In just a moment, we will continue with The Black Museum, starring Orson Welles. And now we continue with The Black Museum, starring Orson Welles.
The two doctors and the mortician took what remained of poor little Mabel to Dr. Marshall's surgery. There they did what was considered necessary and made their analysis. Shortly after, Dr. Marshall wrote out his report.
And as a result of my analysis, it is my opinion that there is definite suspicion of arsenical poisoning.
With that report and Dr. Grant's concurrence, there was nothing to be done but report the matter to the coroner and to the police.
How certain are you, Dr. Marshall, that there is a large quantity of arsenic in the body?
As certain as I can be, Inspector, without being a specialist in criminal toxicology.
Have you preserved the necessary items, Doctor? Contents of the stomach and so on?
I have. In sealed jars, initialed by both Dr. Grant and myself.
Very well. If you will deliver them to me, I will see to it that proper tests are made at once. In the meanwhile, it might be wise to have Mr.
In the meanwhile? Well, of course, there was only one thing to do. A certain pub owner had to be questioned.
Mr. Wilson? Yes? My name's Baker, Sergeant Baker. My credentials. I see. How can I help you, Sergeant? If you'll come to the station with me, sir, Inspector Waters would like to have a chat with you.
Larry Wilson went along and quietly. I let him wait a little while before the inspector was ready to see him. Not long, just a little while. The inspector had a job to assign to the sergeant first.
I have a warrant, Baker. Take a squad, go back to the statue and search it from top to bottom. Bring back anything which looks at all suspicious. Yes, sir. Quick as you can. All right, Mr. Wilson. Inspector Waters will see you now. Thank you, Sergeant. How do you do, Inspector? Sit down, Mr. Wilson. Make yourself comfortable.
Two gentlemen facing each other in a quiet office. Might be a business deal. Might be a matter of life and death.
Mr. Wilson, as you may know, we are in the position of having to investigate certain details of your wife's unfortunate and untimely death. I understand that, Inspector. Do you have any reason to suspect foul play?
Of course not. Mabel was the sweetest, nicest, most gentle.
And quite poor, wasn't she?
I really couldn't say. I didn't check up on that. I was in love.
Yes, of course. In any case, she had no will and left no estate.
Exactly.
Unlike your first wife, whom you married while you were still a barber, and with whose estate you bought a tavern.
You're very thorough, Inspector. What you tell me is quite true.
Certainly very thorough. Very thorough indeed. The inspector knows a lot about you, Larry Wilson.
Your second wife, Mr. Wilson, she also left you some money. You moved over to the Statue Tavern after her death, didn't you?
Yes, that's right. Couldn't abide the old place with Belle passed on.
You are sentimental, Mr. Wilson. You left the trade of barber after the other one. What was her name?
Daisy was her name. Yes, I did leave the trade.
May I ask when you came to this country, Mr. Wilson?
In 1888. Why?
Oh, routine check. We found a record of your passport in 1890 for a trip to America. You came back within a year and, of course, it had been noted that you were not born in the British Isles.
That's right.
And then your name is not Wilson, is it?
I wasn't born Wilson. My father's name in the old country was Wilmets. I anglicized it.
An interesting idea, Mr. Wilson.
There was more, much more. 2 hours of it. When they were about finished, the inspector had a detailed life history of Mr. Larry Wilson. Of course, there were a few open areas.
1889? Do you know, Inspector, I have practically no memory of that year. I was learning my trade then, I guess. No time for the kind of events which make memories.
And then there was 1891.
I had to re-establish myself after I came back from the States. Took some time. It was in 92 I married Daisy.
And stayed married to her until she died in 94. And then married Belle, who passed along in 95. And now it's 96.
Well, we found one thing. Oh, excuse me. I didn't know you were still here, Mr. Wilson.
That's perfectly all right, Sergeant. I was just about to go.
What have you there, Sergeant? A case of razors, sir.
What? But those are mine.
Yes, they are. I dare say the sergeant found them in your bathroom. He's been busy with a search warrant, you see.
Yes, I begin to see a lot of things, including the reasons. behind my being kept here? Is my mother-in-law in on this?
On the contrary, she knows nothing yet. Where did you find those razors, Sergeant?
Hidden, sir. Hidden in the bin on top of the spare bedroom closet, sir.
Thank you, Sergeant.
Very well, Inspector.
While you're on your way, Sergeant, will you escort Mr. Wilson to his room?
Of course.
What's the idea? Are you arresting me?
Not at all, Mr. Wilson. Not yet, at any rate. We're detaining you temporarily on suspicion, sir.
Suspicion of what?
I'll let you know in 24 hours, Mr. Wilson. That's the limit the law allows. After that, of course, I shall have to prepare charges of some sort, but by then the toxicologist will have reported. Won't he, Sergeant?
The inspector was puzzled. Here was a possible case involving poison, and the suspect had hidden his razors where only an unreasonably thorough search might turn them up. It didn't fit. The inspector filed the fact in the back of his mind. Turned to other things.
The toxicologist report is in, Sergeant. The girl was poisoned, all right, but not with arsenic. Her body was full of antimony. We'd better charge Wilson, or he'll be out of our clutches before we know it.
So, they entered a charge against Larry Wilson.
Larry Wilson, you are under arrest on a charge of willful murder. I must warn you, anything you say may...
And then they proceeded to do a little more digging, both figuratively and literally.
I want an exhumation order, Sergeant, for the bodies of the first and second Mrs. Wilsons.
Of course they found it there, too.
The laboratory reports, sir. Both the women were poisoned with antimony.
They called in Dr. Grant.
Dr. Grant, you attended all three of Mr. Wilson's wives, did you not?
Yes, I did.
And you made out the death certificates in the first two instances?
I did.
And in both cases, you stated that the cause of death was exhaustion following severe retching brought on by intensive inflammation of the intestines.
I did.
But you didn't consider these facts at all suspicious?
Why should I have? I've seen many such cases.
Fatal cases?
No, not fatal.
However, with the symptoms in all the cases so remarkably alike, they were alike, weren't they?
Definitely. Oh, most definitely. Now that you mention it, Inspector, the whole thing does seem a trifle too coincidental, doesn't it?
Now it was a matter of routine. 3 women dead of the same poison. 3 women all married to the same man, all treated by the same elderly doctor. There didn't seem to be much more necessary to be done except to trace the poison to the thrice bereaved husband. The police canvassed all the drugstores, the chemist shops in the neighborhood where Larry Wilson had owned his barber shop and his taverns.
What can I do for you, sir?
Good morning. My name is Baker. My credentials.
I see. CID. How can I help you, Sergeant?
We'd like to know if you've ever had a customer named of Wilson, Larry Wilson, one-time barber and tavern keeper.
Oh, that Wilson. Yes, of course. Used to buy the supplies here.
Did he? What, for instance?
Oh, brushes and combs, soaps as he needed them, and so on.
Did he ever buy any strong antiseptics?
Not that I remember.
Any poison for hair dye or such?
I think he once bought some tartar emetic. Yes, I'm sure of that. I remember now. He told me he was experimenting with a new type of dandruff remover. He had the idea that antimony might work very well.
Dandruff remover. Or wife remover. This was up to a jury to decide. There was small doubt what a jury would decide when the chemist showed Sergeant Baker the poison book.
I'm certain. Yes, here it is. Day and date, amount, July the 5th, 1894. Tartar emetic. Signed L. Wilson. It's almost 2 years now. I have a pretty fair memory, haven't I, Sergeant?
They had him. Bit by bit, piece by piece, the story was filled in. The saga of this man with a fascinating little accent. And the women he'd married.
Daisy Alistair, 5 years older than Wilson, owner of a small dress shop, with £350 saved painstakingly over the years.
Belle Davis, owner of a flower shop, with £275 to her credit in the merchant's bank.
And, of course, little Mabel Dill, who had nothing but sweetness and a share of good looks. 3 wives, 3 deaths, the poison. But still, the inspector was puzzled.
You sent for me, Inspector?
Yes. Sergeant, where did those razors you found fit into this pattern?
The man was a barber, wasn't he? You do mean Wilson, don't you?
Yes. But why did he hide them?
He says he was afraid somebody would cut himself.
Nonsense, there were no children. Sergeant, I may have hit on an angle. I sent over to Criminal Records for this file. Look at it.
I see, sir. The description of this man fits Wilson perfectly. Of course, this man was seen only once.
True enough, but it's the identical coloring, height, weight, even the brief sound of his voice.
It proves nothing, sir.
I know, but there's more. The cases in this file began in 88. Wilson came to Whitechapel in 88. The cases stopped in 90, when Wilson went to America. But in that year, it's noted here, there were 3 identical cases in New Jersey. They stopped in 91 when Wilson came back here.
As Dr. Grant would say, it's too remarkable a coincidence, Inspector.
Would you, Sergeant, in this room and having seen this record and knowing about those razors, hazard that Larry Wilson is Jack the Ripper?
I'd hazard it, sir. I couldn't prove it.
Neither could I, but I'm convinced all the same. Perhaps he... well, we've got him on other matters. We can hang him only once in any case.
Well, I'd handle that razor with care, sir. It's mighty sharp.
A most efficient bit of Sheffield, isn't it, Sergeant?
Yes, Inspector. For its original purpose, as well as the other. Matter of fact, I use one exactly like it every morning.
A grim thought, Sergeant. A very grim thought.
We shall never know the full story. But most people would agree with the inspector. There was more than a reasonable chance that justice had finally caught up with Jack the Ripper. Certainly, that case of razors deserves its place of honor in the Black Museum.
Orson Welles will be back with you in just a moment. Now here in person is Orson Welles.
They were sure that they never proved it. Larry Wilson was hanged for the death of poor little Mabel Dill, legally and technically, and for the deaths of his other 2 wives as well. There's no question. The jury deliberated exactly 10 minutes. But the additional fact remains that never again from the date of Wilson's arrest was there a murder in the technique of Jack the Ripper. Not in London. Not in America. His terrible signature never appeared again on the body of any murdered woman. The case of razors remains in its customary place in Scotland Yard. And now, till we meet next time, till we meet in the same place, and I tell you another story about the Black Museum, I remain, as always, obediently yours.
The Black Museum, starring Orson Welles, is presented by arrangement with Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer Radio Attraction. The program is written by Ara Marion, with original music composed and conducted by Sidney Torch. Produced by Harry Allen Towers.
on another journey into the realm of the strange and the terrifying. I hope you will enjoy the trip, and it will thrill you a little and chill you a little. So settle back, get a good grip on your nerves, and be comfortable, if you can, as you hear the story I call Death Has 1,000 Faces. Our story begins at police headquarters in an eastern metropolis. In a small, shabbily furnished office, Horace Riker, a patrol officer for the State Prison Commission, is seated at his desk, which is completely covered with gift packages. As Horace, a small, mild-mannered man in his late 40s, starts to open some of the gifts, there's a knock at his door.
Come in. Oh, hello, Captain.
Hello, Horace. Well, I see none of the boys forgot you. 25 years with the State Prison Commission. That's a long time.
Yes, I never knew I had so many friends. Why, look at all these gifts. There must be at least 20.
Well, here's another one, Horace. This is for me and the other boys in the homicide squad.
Oh, I don't know how to thank you and the others, Captain. You've all been so kind.
Nonsense, Horace. You know how we all feel about you.
I'm really a very lucky man, Captain. I have a job I like, fine friends, and a wonderful wife.
So you and Millie are hitting it off okay, huh?
Of course. I told you it would work out all right, even if I am 20 years older than Millie.
Well, I'm glad to hear I was wrong. Here, let me help you open your gifts.
Thanks, Captain.
Well, looks as though half these gifts are boxes of cigars. I'm afraid you'll have to take up smoking, Horace.
Guess you're right. Well, this one doesn't seem to be cigars. Sounds like a clock.
Clock?
Yes, I can hear ticking inside. Doesn't seem to be a card with it. Well, I'll unwrap it. The card is probably inside.
Wait just a minute. Let me see that package.
Why, of course. Here.
Oh, there's a ticking inside, all right. Cheap wrapping paper, no store label, return address. Why should anyone send you a wound-up clock?
Well, maybe they just wound it up to make sure it worked.
I don't like the looks of this.
What do you mean?
Mac, this is Captain Ross calling from Riker's office. Get the bomb disposal squad over here on the double. It's an emergency.
What did you find out, Captain?
Morelli and the bomb disposal squad have just finished. There's a bomb, all right.
Oh, dear me.
Morelli said it was extremely well constructed. If you had opened that package, it would have been blown to bits.
Who could have sent it?
Oh, it's pretty obvious. It must have been sent to you by one of the convicts whose parole you revoked.
You really think that's it?
Of course.
I wonder which one it was.
That's what we'd like to know. There's nothing about that bomb that we can trace. Well, you'll have to be doubly careful from now on.
Doubly careful?
Yes, this con may make another attempt on your life. I'm assigning one of my men to you for protection.
But I don't need protection, and think how frightened Millie would be if she found out.
Now, don't you worry. She won't find out. I'll see to that.
Well, if you think it's best.
Just leave everything to me, Horace. Now, you better run along home.
Millie? Millie, where are you?
Oh, here I am. Stop yelling.
Look, Millie, at all the gifts I got from the man at the office. Isn't that a new dress you're wearing, darling?
Yes, I bought it this afternoon. How do you like it?
Oh, it's beautiful. You look wonderful in it, Millie. How much did it cost?
$80.
$80?
Yes. It was marked down from 100. I just couldn't resist it.
But, Millie, you bought 2 new dresses just last week.
Well, you can't expect me to go around in rags. I'm sick and tired of having to skimp all the time and never...
No, Millie. If you want to keep the dress, of course you may. The only thing is I don't know how I'll be able to meet the insurance payment due this week.
You mean if I keep this dress, you won't be able to make the payment on your policy?
Yes, dear.
Oh. Well, in that case, I'll return it. You must keep up your insurance.
I'm sorry, darling, that you have to return it. I'll try to find a part-time job in the evenings so we can increase our income. You're going to have everything you want.
Yes, Horace, you're right. I am going to have everything I want. One way or another.
That night, as Horace took Millie out to a movie, they were followed by a detective who Captain Ross had assigned to guard Horace. But as the days slipped by, Horace went about his work as usual, completely disregarding his bodyguard. After 3 weeks had passed, and no further attempts were made on Horace's life, the detective was assigned to another case.
Good evening, darling. Sure was hot today, wasn't it?
Yes. supper will be ready in a few minutes.
All right, dear. Is there any beer in the refrigerator?
Yes, I put 2 bottles in there this morning.
Good. Nothing better than cold beer on a hot day. You want some beer, Millie?
Now, you know I never drink it. It's too fattening.
What did you do today, dear?
What did I do? I went shopping.
Oh. Oh, this beer is cold. It makes my eyes ache.
Horace, I can't stand this heat much longer. When are you getting your vacation?
Well, I've been given the 2nd and 3rd weeks in September.
But that's weeks away.
I know, Millie, but I didn't have any choice. I'm sorry that we... Oh.
What's wrong?
My heart. It hurts.
That's what comes from drinking beer when you're overheated.
Oh, it feels worse.
Oh, nonsense. You'll be all right in a minute.
Millie, help me. Get a doctor. I can't breathe.
Horace, are you sure you need a doctor?
Yes. Hurry, Millie. Hurry.
How is he, Doctor?
That was a close call, Mrs. Riker. But he'll be all right. You can go in now.
Oh, thank you.
Doctor, I'm Captain Ross, friend of Mr. Riker's.
So, how do you do, Captain?
Millie, that is, Mrs. Riker, said it was a heart attack. Is that right?
Yes, Captain, it was a heart attack. Brought on by poison.
Poison?
Yes.
Do you have any idea how it happened?
Yes. Strychnine in the beer. Fortunately for Riker, he only took a sip of the beer. Had he taken any more, he'd be dead. This is a matter for your department, Captain.
Yeah, so it seems.
I'll turn in a report to you.
Thank you, Doctor.
That's quite all right. Well, I've got to leave now. I've got another patient to see. Good night.
Good night, Doctor. Strychnine.
Has the doctor left?
Yes. How's Horace?
Well, he's asleep now.
That beer that Horace drank, when did you get it?
Oh, it was delivered yesterday from the grocery.
Did the delivery boy give it to you directly?
Why, no. He left it on the rear porch. I was out all day.
I see.
What are you getting at?
Horace's heart attack was caused by poison. Poison in the bottle of beer.
Poison?
Mm-hmm.
But who would want to poison Horace?
Oh, maybe it was one of the convicts whose parole he revoked. Then again, it might be someone else.
You have no clue?
No, not yet. But I can promise you one thing. I'll not give up until I've got the person who's trying to murder Horace. Hello, Horace. How are you?
I'm feeling fine, Captain. It's good to be back at work.
Well, sit down, Horace.
Thank you.
Suppose you realize what a close shave you had.
Yes.
Horace, I've got 4 men working on the case day and night. We've been checking on all the convicts whose paroles you've revoked.
Well, that sounds like quite a job.
It is. Naturally, we've been checking other angles as well.
Other angles?
Yes. You understand, of course, it's my duty to investigate every aspect of the case.
Certainly, Captain.
There's nothing personal in what I'm doing. It all comes under routine investigation.
Yes, of course.
Well, what I'm trying to say, Horace, is I've had one of my men check up on your wife.
On Millie?
That's right.
But that's ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. You have no right
to... It isn't ridiculous. We've uncovered some very interesting facts about your wife.
What?
These are the facts. First, your wife worked in an aviation instrument factory during the war. She's a skilled mechanic.
Of course, I know that. It's absurd.
Your wife has the ability to construct a bomb. A bomb such as the one you received.
Are you trying to say it's Millie who's out to murder me?
Let me give you the rest of the facts.
You're out of your mind. How dare you make such an accusation against my wife? How dare you?
Fact number 2. 6 months ago, you took out $50,000 worth of insurance on your life. Whose idea was that? How can you possibly afford to carry $50,000 worth of insurance on your salary?
That's none of your business. I refuse to listen any further to these absurd accusations you're making against my wife.
Fact number 3. Your wife is two-timing you, has been for months. She's seeing a young man by the name of Jerry Clapper.
I won't take that from anyone, not even you. I'll show you.
Oh, don't be a fool, Horace. I'm only doing my duty. Now, sit down. Sit down. And stay down. Horace, we've been friends for 20 years. Do you think I'd tell you all this I didn't have to.
It's lies. All lies.
Fact number 4. Your wife's boyfriend works for a medical firm. He has easy access to poisons, including strychnine.
Nothing you're saying is true. Nothing. If you were honest, you'd admit that you don't like Millie. You never have. You were dead set against my marrying her.
That's true, but that has nothing to do with this.
I love my wife, and I trust her. I don't believe a word you've told me. If you knew her as I do, you'd know she isn't capable of such a thing.
Are you so hopelessly in love with her that you can't see what I'm telling you is the truth?
It isn't the truth. And nothing you can say will change my mind. And I warn you, Captain, if you spread any of these lies about my wife around, I'll kill you.
With this threat, Horace stormed out of Captain Ross's office and returned to his own. In the days that followed, he avoided Ross, which was soon noticed by his fellow workers. Horace told Millie nothing of the accusations that Ross had made. If anything, he was twice as devoted to Millie as ever. The two spent long hours together making plans for their vacation. The day before they were to leave, Horace was summoned to Captain Ross's office.
You wanted to see me?
Yes, have a seat.
I prefer to stand.
Very well. I understand you're leaving on your vacation tomorrow.
Yes.
Where are you going?
None of your business.
I'm asking you as your superior. We may wish to get in touch with you.
We're driving to Virginia. We're renting the same cottage we had last year.
I see. Have you had any further attempts made on your life?
No.
While you're on your vacation, be careful.
What do you mean by that?
You know what I mean.
If you don't stop insinuating that my wife is trying to murder me, I'll see to it that
Just be careful. That's all I'm asking. I'd like to see you come back.
Is there anything else?
No.
Thank you.
Well, I've warned him.
This is a life lying peacefully in a hammock far away from everything and everyone. Enjoying yourself, Millie?
Yes, Horace.
Just like our honeymoon, isn't it?
Yes.
And we've done all the same things. We've gone fishing, swimming, boating, and we've tramped all over the countryside. It's been wonderful.
You know, the only thing we haven't done that we did last year is visit the gigantic caverns.
Yes, that's right. I'd forgotten about that. We did visit the gigantic caverns last year, didn't we?
Yes, Horace. Why don't we spend tomorrow exploring the caverns? Do you remember that wonderful waterfall and pool?
Yes, it'll be a lot of fun. Do you remember the way we almost got lost in the caverns last year?
Oh, if you get lost in there, you can wander days without finding your way out.
Well, this time I'm going to be very careful.
Yes, Horace. We've got too much to live for to let anything happen to us.
Well, here's the entrance to the caverns, Millie.
It certainly is deserted, isn't it?
Yes, no one comes here after Labor Day. Now, wait till I tie the end of this string to this tree.
How long is that ball of string?
Oh, about 5,000 feet. Almost a mile. There.
That should be long enough to take us to the waterfall and the pool and the caverns, shouldn't it?
Yes, just about. Are you ready, dear?
Yes, Horace.
I'll carry the flashlight. Your eyes will become accustomed to the darkness in just a minute. Cool in here, isn't it?
Yes. The only thing I don't like about these caverns are the rats running around. And the bats.
Oh, they won't bother you.
Do you want me to unwind the ball of string for you?
No, Millie, I can manage nicely. This place is fascinating. I'm certainly glad you suggested this little trip there.
Horace, look how high the roof is in this cavern. Why, it must be 200 feet.
Yes, these caverns get more interesting as you pass from one to another. However, I'm afraid we can't go much further. We've about reached the end of this string.
But, Horace, I wanted to see the waterfall and the pool.
I should have brought along another ball of string.
Why are you stopping?
I've reached the end of the string.
Horace, listen a moment. Do you hear the waterfall?
Yes, I think I do.
It sounds as though it's directly ahead. Let's keep going a little further.
But, darling, there isn't any more string.
Oh, we'll only go a little way. It doesn't sound very far off. We'll be able to find our way back.
Well, all right. Wait till I tie the end of this thing around this rock. There. Come along.
Well, we've come quite a way, but here it is.
Yes.
Shine your flashlight down on the pool, Horace.
All right.
It must be quite deep.
Yes. What are you thinking of, darling?
If a person fell into the pool, there'd be no way to get out. The walls of the pool are sheer rock. There'd be no way of climbing up them.
Yes, that's right. What makes you think of it, darling?
I don't know. Standing here or looking down at the pool, it just comes to mind.
It couldn't be that perhaps you want to get rid of me.
Oh, Horace, how can you say such a thing?
It could be, couldn't it? After all, I'm 20 years older than you. I'm not good looking, and I haven't any money.
Oh, don't talk like that.
Why not? It's true, isn't it? My friend Captain Ross thinks it's you who's made the 2 attempts on my life.
I?
Yes. Ross said that you could have constructed the bomb that was sent to me and have poisoned the beer I drank.
How dare he say such a thing?
He claims you're after my insurance. And, of course, he mentioned the man you've been seeing, Jerry Clapper.
He told you about Jerry?
Yes.
Horace, you don't believe that I sent you that bomb or poisoned the beer, do you?
No, Millie. I know you didn't.
Oh, it's good of you not to think so.
You may want me dead, Millie, but I know it wasn't you who made the attempts on my life.
How can you be so sure?
It's very simple, Millie. Because it was I who sent the bomb to myself and poisoned the beer.
You?
Yes.
But why?
Why? You're in love, Millie. You should know to what lengths love can drive a person. In that horrible moment 7 months ago when I found out you were deceiving me, I came close to killing you.
Horace!
Does it surprise you that a mild little man my age could feel so deeply? But then I realized that wasn't the way.
That wasn't the way?
No. I began to formulate a plan, a very clever plan. First, I took out a $50,000 life insurance policy with you as beneficiary. Several months later, I followed that up by sending myself a bomb, and shortly afterwards, I poisoned my beer.
But why did you do all that?
I knew that sooner or later my friend Captain Ross would come to believe that it was you who was attempting to kill me. And that's exactly what happened.
But why? Why?
It was all part of the perfect build-up. The build-up that had led to this moment.
What?
Yes, Millie. You're going to die. Here and now.
No, Horace. No.
I loved you so, Millie. I loved you so.
Horace, don't come near me. Don't touch me. Horace! Horace! Save me! Don't let me drown!
Where's Jerry? When did he save you? I wasn't good enough for you, was I? But you need me now, don't you?
Horace! Help me! Help me!
Millie? She's gone. I better get out of here. As soon as I get back to the cottage, I'll call the sheriff and tell him my story. He'll believe it, particularly after he talks to Captain Ross. There won't be any trouble. After all, I'm just a mild little man in his late 40s. I'm not the type who can love deeply or hate deeply. Well, at least she found out before she died. Now, let's see. Here are 3 pads. Which one is it that will lead me to the string? It's the one on the left. Yes, that must be it. It's about a half mile from here to where the string ran out. Then I follow the string for a mile, and I'll be at the entrance. Strange. I don't remember this turn in the path. But then I may not have noticed it before. This must be the right path. But then they all look so much alike. These caverns are just a maze of passageways. Maybe I took the wrong path. Perhaps I should have taken the middle one. Yes, it must be the middle one. I'd better retrace my steps. All I have to do is keep calm, and I'll be all right. People only get lost when they're excited. I just have to go back to where the three paths are and take the middle one. I mustn't get excited.
Horace Riker ignored the rapid beating of his heart and attempted to remain calm. But as he made his way along, he was constantly confronted with diverging and crisscrossing passages, all of which looked unfamiliar. After wandering for an hour, his flashlight burned out, and he could no longer go on. Exhausted, he sank down to the ground, completely losing all track of time. Meanwhile, the absence of the Rikers from their cottage went unnoticed. It was only after the 5th day that it was discovered they were missing. The countryside was searched without any success. Captain Ross flew to Virginia to aid in the search. Then someone remembered the gigantic cavern. A week from the day he'd entered the caverns, Horace Riker was found semi-conscious, babbling deliriously. He was rushed to a hospital, but the search for his life went on.
You may go in now, Captain Ross.
Thank you, nurse. Hello, Horace. How are you feeling?
Captain Ross, what are you doing here?
I flew down here 2 days ago to help in the search. I was with the party that found you in the gigantic caverns.
Millie, did you find her?
Yes.
How is she?
She's dead.
Dead?
They found her body in a large pool by a waterfall.
Poor Millie.
Suppose, Horace, you tell me exactly what happened.
The whole idea of visiting the gigantic caverns was Millie's. When we got to the entrance, I led the way in, while Millie unrolled the ball of string behind me. After we'd gone a mile, the string ran out. In the distance, we could hear a waterfall. Millie insisted that we go on, though I argued it was dangerous.
What did she say to that?
She said she'd mark the path with her lipstick as we went along, and we could find our way back to the string that way.
I see.
We must have gone about a quarter of a mile when I suddenly realized Millie was no longer following me. I turned, but she was gone. Then I called out to her. I could hear her laughing in the distance and telling me to find my own way out.
What did you do then?
I'm afraid I got panicky. In that moment, I realized everything you told me was true. I tried to follow Millie's laughter, but it seemed to come from all directions. As I tried to retrace my steps to the string, I became completely lost. And that's all I remember.
I see. Despite the lipstick marks she made as a trail, Millie apparently became lost when she ran away from you.
Yes. Captain, I want to apologize for not having believed you. I hope there aren't any hard feelings.
None at all, Horace. I'm just glad I was one of the party who found you before it was too late.
I suppose I was in a bad way when you found me.
Mm-hmm. You were semi-conscious, slowly sinking. By the way, Horace, this will interest you.
Oh, what's that?
It's a phonograph recording. I'll play it for you. I had it made just after you were brought to this hospital. Listen.
No, I wasn't good enough for you, was I?
Why, that's me.
I gotta find my way out of here. You think that all these months I haven't known what's been going on, huh? I may not be young or good-looking like your Jerry, but I have brains. So dark here. So dark. It took brains to work all this out. First the insurance, then the bomb, and poison beer. And now this, Millie, just the way I planned it. You're drowning, Millie. You're drowning. And they'll never find out, Millie. I'm too clever for them.
Yes, Horace, you are clever. I must apologize. I completely underestimated you. If you hadn't been delirious when we found you, I'd never have known that you murdered Millie.
Blueprint for murder. Only he left no margin for error. How was he to know that he would confess all while delirious? Oh, you have to get off now. I'm sorry. I'm sure we'll meet again. I take this same train every week at this same time.
Sunrise and sunset, promise and fulfillment, birth and death. The whole drama of life is written in the sands of time. We present a new series of radio programs, The Clock. Got a little time to spare? 30 minutes, maybe, by the clock? But first, perhaps I'd better introduce myself. Of course, I have so many names, at times it becomes rather confusing. In England, for instance, they call me Ben, and I have a large and extremely showy flat in Westminster Tower. It's distinguished, to put it mildly. But just between the two of us, I feel more comfortable at the end of the chain. Then again, you can find me on your wrist, ticking away on a minor key. Of course, there's the quiet old lady who keeps a favorite place for me in the corner of her room. To her, I'm known as Grandfather. Yes, I'm known by many names to a multitude of people, and I know a multitude of people by their names. People whose lives have so much to do with the clock. But here I am, the only one who can really sell time. So here are 30 minutes on the counter for whoever wants to buy. 30 genuine 14-karat solid gold platinum-lined minutes, carefully tested. And here's a gentleman who thinks he can afford them. Well, fine. Wrap them up for Wilber Cook. I've made a sale. But remember, Wilber, no refunds, no exchanges.
Well, the clock in our office is a time clock, and it's got a handle on it. And I've pushed that handle for 13 years, twice a day. At 9 when I come in, and when I go out at
5 o'clock on the dot. Leave it to Wilber, most dependable guy in the firm. Yes, sirree.
I'm in a hurry to get home, Charlie, social.
I'm going your way. Come on.
Well,
how's it hitting you, Wilber? How's the score?
I'm not complaining.
Say, how long you been working for this company?
13 years.
You ever been late to work?
Oh, not that I remember, and I've never been absent either.
Never been late, never been absent. Oh, Wilber, you're terrific. Yes, sirree.
I wish you wouldn't make fun of me, Charlie.
Make fun of you?
Me? I know what the rest of the men in the office think. They laugh at me.
Now, Wilber.
But I don't care. I haven't got time to waste my money on silly things. I've got a wife at home who looks after me and loves me. And as far as I'm concerned, that's all that counts.
Now, listen, Wilber, you got me wrong. I'm all for that.
I appreciate the important things in life. You don't mind working hard anymore, day after day, year after year. You don't mind that at all, Charlie, as long as you've got someone to work for. Someone you can always count on.
You said it. If you're lucky.
Lucky? Well, what's that got to do with a wonderful wife?
Well, because all women aren't built that way. Why, just last night I was reading in the papers how a guy's wife ran away with the neighborhood butcher. You know, even with the price of meat, it ain't a good excuse.
What happened? Did he find them?
Oh, yeah, he caught up with them. He put 2 slugs in the butcher's skull and then pushed his wife out of an 8-story window.
Oh, that's horrible.
Ah, she deserved what she got. But she even tried to poison him before she ran away. Stuck some stuff in his food. How'd you like that?
Well, it's hard to believe that such things can happen.
Of course, the guy was a dope. He should have hired somebody else to bump him out.
You mean there are people who kill for money?
Well, Al McHugh once told me he knew a joint on 8th and Vine, a pool room, where you could hire a trigger man for $100. You just ask for a guy named Arch.
Oh, I wouldn't pay any attention to him, Charlie, if I were you.
Oh, it's no skin off my teeth. I don't see myself slapping $100 on the line for any dame. Hey, I think I'll take a bus. You coming, Wilber?
No, I'll walk.
Well, don't walk too slow.
What do you mean?
From what they told me, Wilber, there's a butcher on every block.
Charlie didn't worry me at all with all his stupid jokes. A thing like that can never happen to me and Millie, not in a million years. But then, I started to think of something that happened a few days before. It had me puzzled at the time. It was a letter from Millie with no return address. The postmark said Chicago, and I'd left it on the kitchen table before I went to work. Well, tonight I asked the conduct automatically who it was from. And she told me it was just an advertisement. An advertisement from Chicago. And the address on the envelope was in pencil. I looked at Millie for a minute, but she turned the other way. She seemed nervous, scared. I asked to see the letter, and I saw her face turn pale. Then she said she'd thrown it away an hour before. And as I was thinking about the letter, suddenly I realized I was running in the street, and I felt silly. I mean, what was I in such a hurry about? I'd get home, and she'd be standing there, looking at me with that funny smile. Well, what were they to worry about? It was Millie. Then I reached the corner, and I saw him. It was too dark to recognize his face, and he was walking the other way. But he'd just come out of my house. A man in my house. But I was getting too excited. I wasn't being sensible. Why couldn't there be a man in my house? Sure, why not? Living in the laundry, maybe, or fixing the stove. Oh, Millie would explain it. I was letting my imagination play tricks with me. Millie would explain it as soon as I got home.
Wilber, that you?
Yes, Millie?
Hungry?
Not very.
What's the matter, Wilber? Don't you feel well?
No, I'm fine. I just a little tired, I guess.
Sit down and read your paper. I'll have dinner ready.
Millie?
Yes?
How was everything today?
Everything? Why, same as usual.
My shirt's come back?
Your shirt? Oh, the laundry isn't due till Monday. You know that.
The handyman been up here?
What for?
That broken coil on the kitchen range.
He fixed that yesterday. Don't you remember?
Oh, yes.
Wilber, what's the matter with you?
Well, I guess I missed you today more than usual, that's all.
Oh, I missed you, too. It gets lonesome being home from 9 to 5. Alone?
I guess it does, Millie.
Now, I've got to finish getting dinner ready. You stay here until I call you, dear.
Well, I opened up my paper, but I didn't see the words. Alone. She said she was alone. And yet that man, I saw him. I leaned back in my easy chair, weak and tired. My face was wet and my shirt was sticking to my back. I reached for a handkerchief behind me in my pocket, and my hand touched something. I dug down under a cushion. I pulled out a pair of gloves. Man's gloves. But they weren't mine. That night I didn't sleep. I stayed awake and I wondered how a thing like that could be. What had I done? Hadn't I been faithful and kind and hard-working? Hadn't I skimped and I stayed for 13 years at a job I couldn't stand? Why was she doing this to me? Why? The night was endless. Next morning I started out for work as if nothing had happened. But I didn't go to the office. Instead, I waited across the street from my house in a doorway, out of sight. I was a spy, spying on my own wife.
Why, Wilber, Cook.
Oh, good morning.
Florence Field. Goodness, I haven't seen you in ages. Oh, you know, I think it's terrible that neighbors like you and Millie and me don't get to see each other more often.
Well, we've been so busy.
Oh, now, don't give me that, Wilber. You folks are regular gadabouts. Did you have a good time the other night?
The other night?
Oh, at the Stewart Hotel. I was going to say hello when I saw Millie going in, but she went by so fast.
You saw Millie going to the Stewart Hotel?
Sure. She was meeting you there, wasn't she?
Oh, yes, that's right. I remember now. As of the other night, I was working overtime in the office, and I met Millie later.
How was the dance band? Any good?
Couldn't be better.
Gee, I haven't been to a dance in months. Well, 9 o'clock, I'd better get going. Remember me to Millie.
Stewart Hotel. She saw my wife going to Stewart Hotel. Cheap little place with a cheap reputation. And I'm almost sure they don't even have a band. I don't know how long I waited. It might have been an hour. Finally, my wife came out of the house. She walked up to the corner without looking around, and I followed. On the corner, she caught a bus, the number 4. I took a cab, and I trailed behind. At 20th and Grand, I saw her leave. I got out of the cab half a block away, and I watched her turn into a doorway underneath a dirty marquee. I looked up at the sign. It said, Stewart Hotel. For the rest of the day, I just wandered around. I didn't go to work. I felt sick to my stomach. My legs were weak. I kept saying to myself over and over again, my wife, my own wife had seen another man. It was impossible, but it was true. Around 6, I found myself in front of my house. I tried to act naturally as I closed the door.
Wilber?
Yes?
Oh, just a minute. I'll be right in.
Oh, Millie's handbag was on the sofa, and the catch had opened. Something was sticking out. It was the bank book we used for our joint account, our savings account. I picked up the book, and I opened it. Balance was $600. It should have been 9. I examined the withdrawal column. There were 3. They amounted to $100 apiece, and they'd all been made the week before. On top of everything, she was even giving him our money.
Come on, Wilber. Soup's on.
Millie?
Yes?
What's the matter, Wilber?
Oh, nothing. I want to ask.
What is it?
Oh, nothing. Nothing at all. Let's eat, Millie.
All right, then, dear. Come on. Don't let the soup get cold.
I took a spoonful of soup, and it tasted sour. I could hardly swallow it. I wasn't hungry, but I had to make a show. Well, I tried again, and it tasted even worse than before. And then I realized that she was trying to poison me.
Oh, what is it?
I need some air.
Wilber!
I need some air, I tell you.
Wilber, come back here. Wilber! Wilber!
I walked like a man who was doped. She wanted to kill me. She wanted to kill me. But I had to beat it to it, and I had to do it fast. All my life I'd been kicked around. I'd never hit back. But it's too much, even for me. I'd get her first, and then I'd get the man. But first I'd get her.
The moving finger writes, and having writ moves on. Nor all your piety know which shall lure it back to cancel half a line. Nor all your tears wash out a word of it. Time is measured by the stars, and some say our lives are also measured by the stars. I wonder what they hold now for Wilber Cook.
What did Charlie tell me? The pool room on 8th and Vine. We could have had a trigger man for $100. Just ask for a man named Arch on 8th and Vine pool room.
Hey, that's it. Right in your corner pocket.
Looking for someone, Jim?
Yes.
Oh.
Arch.
Arch?
I have a job for Arch.
Follow me. In there.
Is inside that room?
That's right.
Thank you.
Just a minute.
What are you doing?
Don't look like the gun-toting type, but Arch likes to be careful. Okay, mister, you can go in.
The room was small and dark, and there was a table and a chair and a spittoon. A man was at the table playing solitaire. He wasn't a big man, and he was thin, and He didn't look up as I entered. He just motioned to a chair.
Sit down.
Thank you.
You want to see me?
Yes.
What for?
Business.
What kind of business?
Well, there's someone I don't like.
Uh-huh.
I understand I may be able to do something about it.
Who sent you here?
No one.
How did you know where to come?
I just heard.
How much you want to pay?
How much is it?
What depends.
On what?
How tough a job it is.
Well, it won't be hard.
Who is it?
My wife.
What's the matter? Find another guy?
How much?
$100.
All right.
In advance.
I've got it right here.
Okay. Thanks.
She'll leave the house at noon tomorrow. I'll see that she does. It's a two-family house with red brick, and the address is 827 Allen Avenue. I'll print it on this card, and the name is Cook.
Tomorrow, 12 sharp, okay.
It's got to be done away from the house.
Okay. What does she look like?
Oh, she's pretty.
What else?
About 5'4".
Got a picture.
A picture?
You want it, baby?
Oh, yes, I have. Now, this was taken 2 years ago.
Uh-huh.
Is that all?
That's all.
Can I go now?
Sure.
I'll be seeing you.
You ain't gonna be seeing nobody. But everything will be taken care of.
When I left the place, I got that feeling again. Like I was going to be sick. I hardly knew where I was walking. And I found myself in a bar across the street. It was the first time I'd taken a drink in my life. I had another, and 4 more. I poured it down my throat like water. It burned my throat, and I left the bar, and I started home. It was almost midnight, and I thought she'd be asleep. But when I opened the door, I saw the light was on in the bedroom.
Wilber?
Yes, it's me.
Where have you been?
Out.
It's almost midnight.
What of it?
Wilber, I want to talk to you.
I'm too tired to talk.
There's something you've got to know.
Well, I know too much already.
You found the bank book, didn't you? And you probably found the gloves. Steve told me he left them here.
Steve?
I had to give him money, Wilber. And I couldn't tell you. He made me promise I wouldn't tell.
Oh, don't blame him.
He's been living in Chicago for the past 3 years, and he's been gambling again. He rushed on a debt, and he was afraid for his life. He wanted to hide so they wouldn't find him. He made me swear I wouldn't tell you, Wilber. He made me swear.
Huh?
I know I had no right to give him that money, not after you worked so hard for it, Wilber, but maybe that's why I kept my promise to Steve. I was afraid you'd be mad. I couldn't help it, Wilber, honest. He is my brother.
Millie. Oh, brother. Your crazy brother. And all along I thought it was another man. Millie, I've got to stop him.
Wilber, where are you going? Wilber!
I still got time. Taxi, where's the taxi? Taxi! I can bind. Hurry, please. I've got to stop him. I've got to. I can't go to the police. I can't tell the police I made a bargain to kill my wife, and now I've changed my mind. But all he wanted was the money. I'll just tell him to keep the money and forget the whole thing. Oh, I must have been crazy. I must have been out of my mind after I'm all right now. She loves me. She's never stopped. Oh, Millie. Millie, can you ever forgive me? Wait here, driver. No, it can't be. Can't be. Hey, you looking for something, mister? This pool, isn't it open? Can't you read the sign up there? Closed until further notice. Closed? Yeah. Hey, you better go home. It's getting late. Yes, it's getting late. It's too late. Millie was sleeping when I got back home. I lay down on the couch with my clothes on. And I tried to think. Millie found me there the next morning when she got up. Good morning, Millie.
Oh, Wilbur, I'm so glad you're back. I thought Oh, Wilbur, you're ill.
I'm sorry I ran out like that last night. Millie, where go now?
Why, just to the kitchen, dear, to make us some coffee.
Now, Millie, don't leave me. Stay with me here all day, please, Millie.
Of course I will, dearest. If you're sick, what else would I do?
I'm very sick. But you mustn't leave me for a minute.
Maybe I better call the doctor.
Oh, no, don't do that. I'll be all right in a few hours. Just sit here with me, Millie. Don't go away.
Oh, poor Wilbur. And it's all my fault.
No, Millie, don't say that. Millie.
Oh, Wilbur.
Don't answer, Millie, for heaven's sake. Don't answer it.
But why not?
Oh, keep away from that door.
But why? I'll be right back.
Millie.
It's only the grocery boy. Oh, thank you, Sammy. Wilbur, what's wrong? I told you I was sorry. I thought you'd understand. What can I do?
It's not you, Millie. My nerves ain't so good. I guess I just need rest.
Wilbur, you can't go on this way. You look so ill. I'll bet you didn't sleep a wink last night.
Well, I wasn't tired.
You've got to get some rest, darling. I'll make you comfortable inside.
No. I'll stay here on the couch, and you sit down next to me, Millie.
All right, darling.
Just stay right here where I can watch you.
All right, dear.
The clock's at 9:30, and I could hear the ticking from the couch. Every second, every minute was bringing us closer to the time. And I didn't have a plan. I had to have a plan. I had to think of one. But when you haven't slept for 30 hours, it's hard to keep your eyes open and stay awake. I didn't know before you sleep. I didn't know. Shopping she wrote. Be back in half an hour. Half an hour, and the clock was chiming noon. Oh, Millie, thank heaven. Millie!
Your name, Cook? Wilbur Cook?
And I knew. It was too late. Ted and Millie was a policeman outside my door. He'd come to tell me that she'd just been killed.
I said, is your name Cook?
Yes, officer, I'm Wilbur Cook.
You're lucky, mister. Lucky you're still alive. We found this card with your address on it, and we picked up Arch Marone.
Arch Marone?
This guy makes a specialty of killing for hire. You might have been next on his list. Know anything about it?
I don't.
Ever been to a pool room on 8th and Vine?
Yes, I've been there.
Bookie hangout. We raided it last night. Closed it up for keeps. You say, you don't look like the type who would hang out in a joint like that. You play the horse?
No, I never have.
Just like a game of billiards, huh? Well, you watch your step from now on. This punk might have gotten your address either to rob you or to rub you out. You stay home with little woman, Wilber. It's safer.
Wilbur?
Oh. Is this her, Wilber?
Yes.
Well, ma'am, you want to take good care of your husband, you know. He's not looking too good.
Oh, I will, officer. I will.
That's good, ma'am. Well, goodbye for now.
Goodbye, officer.
Millie.
What did the policeman want?
He made a mistake, and so did I.
Oh, Wilbur, you look a little better than you did before, dear. Were you worried when you woke up and found me gone?
You'll never know how much.
Oh, Wilbur.
Oh, Millie, I'm a fool.
No, you're not. Now, come inside and I'll fix you up some lunch.
But I'm a lucky fool, and I am a happy one right now.
That's the story of Wilber Cook as recorded by the clock. I rather like a happy ending, don't you? I like to feel that life is really worth living in spite of all the shortcomings and mistakes. But then I've always been known to be a very optimistic fellow. Oh, yes, and I'll prove it to you the next time you're late to make that train. You'll look at me and you see your time is short, but there'll be something about my face that'll make you think the minutes will stretch. And I'll do my best to stretch them, just for you. But I see my time is running short, and I think I'll have to leave. I'd like to thank you for your hospitality and patience. You've all been excellent hosts.
This program was written by Lawrence Clee, and you heard Hart McGuire as the clock, and as Wilber, Ozzie Wenban, as Millie, Lynn Murphy. Others were Lloyd Burrell, Madge Ryan, Richard Meikle, Alan Trevor, Owen Ainley, Albert Garcia. The Clock is a Grace Gibson radio production directed by John Saul.